say they must be pushing hard.
R.I.P. I'm about to go. God have mercy on my soul.
Oh man, the fans are streaming in and they are in the building. Welcome out to Evergreen Speedway, just outside of Seattle. Technically it's Monroe, Washington. Put some respect on it. Love this place. People always ask me all the time, they're like, what's your favorite round? I said, Atlanta. Knee-jerk reaction, the birthplace, the womb of Formula Drift. But a close second is here. I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry, Orlando. I'm sorry, Utah. I'm sorry to all the other venues. I love this place. The fans are ravenous. Stomp your feet, Seattle, Monroe, Washington, PNW. Stomp your feet for me, if you will. Make some noise. Oh, you can feel the energy, and we're about to kickstart the top 30, because guess what? Number 1 and number 2 qualifying drivers have a bye run. We're going to get into it. You're going to see some head-to-head battles. There we go, throwing some knucks for the fans. There's Forsberg. You're seeing Dean Carnage Carney unleash the Kraken. We got the Pit and Paddock car show put on by Turn 14 Distribution. Some amazing cars over there, dude. I'm Jared Deanda, by the way. Joining me here in the booth for Top 32 is a judge of the Formula Drift Championship. Slide back on here so we get us in the shot. Look at this backdrop. Ryan Lontaine. Ryan, how we doing, bud?
Doing great, Jared.
Yeah,
Always love being here, just like you said.
Yeah.
Awesome place.
Sorry, I was going to go a different route. I love this place. Again, you can see some fans still in the paddock. We're up here in the tower. These stands will be full by the end of today. So thank you so much for joining us again. Jared Deanda, Ryan Lontaine, your tour guides here for Top 30. Like I said, number 1 and number 2 qualifier, a bye run, because unfortunately some vehicles couldn't make it or broke or, you know, things happen. Here we are, round 6, man.
Already.
And it's going to come down to Irwindale. I'm just going to put it out there. There's no way it's going to be decided here in Seattle or Utah, but it's going to come down to Irwindale. Yesterday, a 91, was it?
I
Matt
believe so.
Field, dude. Matt Field, our K&N knockout qualifying driver that gets that number 1 spot. The Borla, Heatwave, Lean Customs, Momo, Forge Star, the Beast from the Bay. He won in Long Beach, but Odi Bakshis, he gets a, you know, talk about momentum. From St. Louis to here. He gets the win in St. Louis, and he gets number 2 qualifying spot.
Yeah, this track is, on the surface, fairly easy looking, but it really isn't. Coming off the bank, you need to really get yourself slowed down for that outside zone number 2 area, and you can see the guys that scored high were very accurate in placing their cars all around, on throttle in a lot of areas. Look at that initiation. That was one of our favorite initiations yesterday. It's one of those things when you see it happen, even from way over here, you go, whoa, look at that. And it was, he didn't get the top spot, but he definitely is one to watch here this weekend.
Denopo in practice earlier today, knockout qualifying. He got 9th position, but, you know, he could just surprise you, man. I mean, he killed it in Orlando. In practice earlier, we saw him and Turk rip around. You were saying, so photogenic. Both their cars yellow, the yellow stripes on the track. Beautiful weather, blue sky, green backdrop. I mean, Larry Chen, this is automotive porn. Let's just call it what it is.
Yes.
So many cool cars. Top 32 drivers. Again, top 30 because there it is. Matt Field, Odi Bakshis, get the fast pass from yesterday's qualifying going into top 16. Absolutely phenomenal. So kudos to them. Again, Field, he's sitting in second. Odi Bakshis, man, again, gets the win, but his teammate, Simon Olsen, first ever season driving an S chassis with an LS supercharged, never driven before. And then here he is sitting 5th in points. So 2 of the field vehicles, you know, I was doing an interview yesterday, they said, is it RTR versus Papadakis? I'm like, no, man, it's everybody. Because, like I said, here's Odi Bakshis, here's Simon Olsen. They're both in top 5 in point standings. Get the win in St. Louis and get 3rd place. And, you know, again, Simon Olsen sitting in 5th place, he has this like confidence to him. I was throwing shade at him yesterday. I'm like, oh, he's showing up late to the autograph signing. You know, get on a couple podiums and look at you now. Really nice kid, man. Again, a Norwegian Drift champion. He's hitting his stride.
Yeah, and it just proves what a good, you know, well set up car can do for you in a series like this. You know, you can be the best driver, but if your car isn't there, you're never going to get to the top. Look at Simon Olsen coming in, like you said, in a car that is clearly well prepared by the Odi Bakshis team, the field team. Looks incredible.
Chelsea Denofa sits in 4th. That's what we just saw. He got that win in Orlando, but there it is. Odi Bakshis, most recently our victor, held up by his teammate Simon Olsen. He turns 40 yesterday.
Yep.
Odi Bakshis, right? and then sitting in second right now, there's those two gentlemen, right? It started in Long Beach and it's going to end in Irwindale. Is it a fight between them? Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, again, Osbo sitting in second, Field sitting in second, Osbo sitting first.
Yeah, and the points are pretty tight. It's not like it's decided yet. You know, this isn't Formula One with their points spread. Right now, it's pretty tight. Whatever happens today can have a big effect on how things are going to go in the next 2 rounds.
And you can see that only 43 points separate first and fifth, 100 points per round, 5 points, yeah. And again, Field got +5. Who got +3? Matt Field got +3, so +3. And Bakshi's got +2, so that is not equated here. But 6 through 10, look at Forsberg, James Dean. You know, he's the only RTR driver not to get a win this season. You know, because again, Von Gitt Jr. he's back, he's up in the mix, he's shaking things up. He is the disruptor. Adam LZ, you know, he's not driving anymore this season. Hopefully, you can follow him on his LZ World Tour, which I know is ending in Australia. But how are we doing out there? Look at the fans. Who you guys got your money on? I mean, I'm seeing all the different fan shirts, from the Heat Wave shirt my man got right there. Hopefully you picked up some sunglasses. Again, if you're a Matt Field fan, you know you got to pick up some of those. Play FD for cash. That's right. Make your picks. Scan to play. Go ahead, grab your phone. I'm grabbing mine. So hold it there, director, aka Kemp. So boom, boop, flow code. There we go. Look at that. I'm getting shade from my director saying pick a favorite, and I can't. They're all my children, baby. You know what I mean? Like
I love them all equally.
I mean, look at when we started this thing, my beard was not this gray. Now I'm like a calico cat. It looked like my son called me Neapolitan ice cream. You know, I got chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla.
That's cute.
It is cute. Hey, there's the Type S booth. Myself, Mike Power, and Larry Chen. We're going to be there at 3:30. Also, I'm going to be over at the K&N booth. K&N is dropping some sick merch. They did a collab shirt with Larry Chen. They got a Peaker shirt. They did a blackout shirt with Chris Forsberg, and Lean Customs K&N Filters E36 pin dropping here. Also, Momo's got some sweet pins too. They got some Lean Custom pins. These are our season winners. Matt Field wins in Long Beach, Von Gitt Jr. Atlanta, Orlando Chelsea Denofa, Adam LZ at E-Town, and most recently Odi Bakshis. Who's going to fill out the rest of them? Are we going to get a different winner each round like we did last year, except 2, and that was Frederick Osbo, who ended up coming up with 2 victories last year. Again, I love this event, the energy, the vibe, the feels, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here, either online or in the building. Pick up your official Formula Drift merchandise. And so much great history here. And there's somebody who, again, there's a few people that I want to mention that we lost, and I'll get to that in a little bit, that played a major role in the drifting world. Ryan, walk us through the course here.
You can see outside zone 1 is that big, massive zone on the right side of the screen. It is a huge zone, and you need to get on the wall at the beginning and ride it all the way around to the end. The end of the zone is a tough spot to fill, so that's going to be an important spot. Flow out to outside zone 2, transition to outside zone 3, get into inside clip 1, and then transition for outside zone 4. We got 3 decels on here. There's 1 at the end of outside zone 1, 1 in outside zone 3, and then entering outside zone 4. So you need to put the whole course together, but you also need to decel in the right spot. You can't be decelling in outside zone 2. Outside zone 2 is also a tricky area where drivers are dropping tires pretty often because they're not slowing down at the end of outside zone 1. It's very tempting, let's say, to stay on throttle through there because you feel like, I might be able to make it stick. But if you don't decel at the end of zone 1, you are going to overshoot outside zone 2, and that's going to put you on a really bad line going into 3 and 4. So you need to be patient is the point of what I was just saying.
And, you know, exactly. I mean, there's so many keys to victory. You know, I feel like we need, you know, a pick lock here because there's so many things going on here. But tied on wall outside zone 1. You talk about being patient. Smoke is going to be a big factor here. Yep. Just the amount of smoke that's being created. So when you go to outside zone 1 into the power alley, decel at the end of zone 1, right? So you're coming off the bank into that power alley, and then fill that outside zone 2. Love the indicators up top. There's a hanging pole. Yep. That's really great. The drivers always complain about that, but obviously Long Beach is good and it's bad. It's walls that are unforgiving, but they are walls that are unforgiving, right? So I think if we had walls everywhere, that'd be great. But again, decel, outside zone 2, going into 3, tighten it up. And now here are chase driver keys to victory from K&N.
Yeah, the thing about the chase car keys to victory, they don't generally change from round to round. You got to gain proximity and maintain proximity. You want to get as close as possible right away and keep it through the entirety of the run. You want to get the car positioned in the right spot. So just because you're close, but you're ahead of the lead car, that's not right. You want to be in the pocket. So that means let's say the front left wheel of the chase car needs to be sort of in the door of the lead car. You want to stay in that area, and then you want to mimic the transitions, and you want to stay on course after inside clip 1. That's an important one. After you transition into chase, we've seen chase drivers dropping tires there over the yellow line. So you want to stay on the track, get positioned just right. You can see that little section right there suspended above the man with the paint machine. That is a marker for outside zone 1. The drivers requested this. Over the years, we've come up with different ways to make these areas visible, and that's what we've come up with for outside zone 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, they love it. It's very helpful. They want it everywhere now.
Well, we talked about wacky, waveable, inflatable, crazy arm guys, right?
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
certain indicators, and that's the point of reference, you know, for the drivers and what's going on. Well, Ryan, you and I are up here for 32. Ryan Sage will be joining for top 16, but a member of our team who we nearly and dearly love. She's just fresh from Sturgis. She's going from 2 wheels to 4 wheels. Lorette Nickel. Lorette.
Odie Bakshi just celebrated a milestone birthday yesterday, turning the big 4-0. And of course, coming out of St. Louis with his first win of the season. Odie, happy belated birthday. Celebrating with a second place qualifying spot. But it wasn't easy because there was a gremlin that was haunting you. What was happening?
Absolutely. You know, throughout practice, my car was telling me something's just not right. It was running great. It makes so much power with this Texas Speed motor that even if there's something not right, it still is drivable. But I just felt it, and it drove me nuts. The guy stayed super late, couldn't pinpoint anything major. And on the first lap of practice today, it absolutely died down the straightaway, which was a blessing because that little gremlin we're chasing turned into a big problem. It showed itself, and sure enough, we're able to fix it within like 15 minutes, and now the car is telling me it's healthy, it's telling me it's good, and I am excited about today.
Oh my gosh, amazing. And talk about what a monster Simon Olsen has become and qualified in third place.
Yeah, we definitely created a monster. Simon's been showing himself as a very consistent driver and someone that you don't want to get paired up with in the bracket. That guy's on it. He's taken me out this season, so I know he's on it, and he's coming to terms with the car. I think we gave him a great platform, and it's given him the ability to shine as a driver.
Odie, thanks so much for your time. Good luck today. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Lorette.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lorette. All right, well, we are getting prepared here for our top 32, and again, top 30 because our number 1, number 2 qualifier have a bye run. Well, again, there are so many different names and stories that happen here, and one notably is that of Tom Vick. Tom Vick, we unfortunately lost him here July 21st. He was the official track photographer, and he has photos of him and that car right there. That is actually Ken Gucci driving the Ford Mustang. The Vick family actually owns that car, but he shot that photo back in the day here in Seattle, back when, again, Ken Gucci drove a Ford Mustang. Yeah, he did. If you didn't know that, he's obviously currently with Toyota. But shout out to the Vick family. Our heart and prayers and thoughts go out to John Vick. He's survived by his son, his grandkids, his family. He's very loved, and had some great words with John. And of course, thank you so much, Tom Vick, for all that you do. Again, July 21st, we lost him, but again, he will be celebrated. So thank you to the Vick family. Also, another person that wants to be that I would like to honor is that of Tyler Clayton. Tyler Clayton, we lost him on Monday. A nice young man that was an owner of CoroWorks. So if you see CoroWorks on the vehicles, the Elton, the Rocket Man logo, has supported many different pro and pro spec drivers, and is just a lover of all things JDM and cool. He's survived by his wife Lauren. They're actually doing a memoriam today at CoroWorks and the church out there. So Tyler, shout out to you. Again, honor, respect, legends never die, and what you did for the motorsports world and the drifting world specifically will not be forgotten. So Tyler, we love you, we're thinking of you, and again, shout out to the CoroWorks family. Lauren, we love you and we support you, and again, just tell the people now on the planet that are here that you love them. So thank you so much. We'll be right back.
When you have a lot of money tied up in your transmission and differential in your car, kind of like I do in this one, this is a must-have. Royal Purple Max Gear High Performance Gear Oil. Even under severe squeeze film conditions caused by sudden shock, extreme high loads, or low RPMs, Max Gear helps reduce bearing wear. I am pretty sure we put this to the test more than anybody else. Slippery, synthetic, and complete with Centerlick technology, Max Gear reduces wear and friction, which allows your gears to run smoother, quieter, cooler, and longer. Drift tested and ready for your gears. Royal Purple Max Gear.
The magic of Rain-X. Okay, that's some serious Hollywood stuff right there. But with Rain-X Latitude water repellency blades, the magic is real. These blades apply a new longer lasting water repellency formula. The magic of Rain-X repels water from your windshield so water beads up and rolls away while you drive, giving you the clearest view possible. Treat your windshield for safer driving visibility with Rain-X Latitude water repellency wiper blades.
Momo, founded in Italy, raced across the world. Trusted by champions for over 50 years, from Formula One to drift tracks. Visit momo.com for more information.
Yeah, all right. Well, you know what? It's beautiful weather here. I love it here in Washington. Peace out, homeboy. Look at these. Go Dolphins? Big Dolphins guy, huh? Okay. Okay, I see you. I see you. And that's the kind of weather. We got tank tops and flip-flops. We got my man with a jacket and jeans. I'm sweating out here. I mean, I got to walk up these stairs, you know. This body wasn't built in a day, if you know what I mean. Ryan,
you look great.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Ryan, you are one of the judges. You, Chris Ewell, and Brian Eggert. I like the 4-judge format. I don't know that we implemented it this year. The rotation, collectively, each judge will be judging 6 rounds this year. Again, this particular round, Robin Ishida is helping out Sean Adriano.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Okay,
6 rounds, yeah. And this round, like you're saying, is Robin Ishida.
Yep.
He flew in all the way from Japan just to take care of the drivers and the spotters. He just wants to be here for them.
Yep.
Very helpful.
Yep. All right, well, again, ACT track conditions are going down. ACT, a proud supporter of Formula Drift, celebrating 50 years of ACT performance, advanced clutch technology. I see that turquoise beanie over there, Jake. He's a host of our podcast there, Formula Drift. But right now, Lorette, speaking of blue, look at blue all over. Lorette, thank you for joining us. Fresh off of Sturgis, baby. How are we doing?
I know, Sturgis was wild. It was 10 days out there, and I just landed last night at midnight, hitting the ground this morning, and we're ready to roll, and especially with Ryan Turk. We wanted to talk about the track conditions and what you drivers are dealing with out there.
Yeah, so the track has really come around. Yesterday we had a lot of practice on Friday coming into qualifying, and it took a while for the course to rubber in, and when it did, and then the sun came down and it really gripped up a lot. So qualifying, things kind of changed quite a bit track conditions wise, and then this morning warm-ups, the sun finally got on about halfway through and it's feeling great. On outer one, if you're on the main line, it is extremely grippy, but if you get maybe 12 inches above that, and where your bumper's essentially dragging across the wall for the entire turn, it's a little looser where you can kind of pedal the car, and it will want to keep your car out there, and it's actually a little bit more comfortable. It's just a little scarier and harder to get to that point. But if you're 12 inches in, the course is a little bit, or a lot bit more grippy. That's because that's where most of the tire rubber's going down. And coming off of outer one to outer two, you have this weird transition point where you're trying to slow the car down but still come in an angle, and a spot where you don't want to lose the front end in your car. It's really easy for the front end to start pushing and get a lot of understeer there. And you also want to make sure you don't slow the car down too much where you can't get to outer 2. So it's a really tricky spot on the track, coming off the bank with so much speed and trying to slow down without slowing down too hard. And then from outer 2 to outer 3, it's a big point where the judges really want to see you nail both those zones very strong. It's a little slicker and a little easier to drive as far as grip level because it's a little bit more porous asphalt and the rubber doesn't stick to it as hard. And then from outer 3 to inner 1, you're pretty much just gathering yourself up, trying to clutch in and make sure you nail that inner clip with some big angle. Transition to outer 4, nice and wide, run across that strong, across the finish line nice and good. And hopefully you have a nice smooth lap and you can adjust to these shadowy conditions and everything that the track is trying to throw at us condition-wise.
Yeah, and when do you have to start worrying about those shadowy conditions and how do you adjust?
Yeah, later in the day, if you're making it to the main show, top 16 and on, the shadows really start to develop. And if you make it to top 8 and the semifinals, and at the outer 1, it really casts a big shadow, so it's a lot harder to see what's going on out there, and that changes the track conditions a lot, where it might go from full grip in some areas to nice and cool and full grip in other, you know what I mean? So it's always a balance, and it's tough to navigate, but we're all having to do the same thing out there and try to adjust and stay comfortable and try to pour the pressure on.
Well, best of luck, Ryan. Thank you so much for all that insight. Guys, we're having a great time here in Seattle. Let's go.
Yep, that's right. Let's go. Let's leave. Chris Forsberg, Jonathan Hurst. We were intended to have again, everybody says, let's go. So I'm trying to brand this thing.
Was this the first time you rolled that out to the public
yep,
right
that's
here?
right. I'm debuting it right here. Let's leave. Because everybody says, LFG, let's go. Well, speaking of going, Taylor Hull called the competition timeout, so he's stopping right now with his NGK competition timeout. Taylor Hull is supposed to go against RCP, but so we are moving on to Forsberg versus Hurst. Again, Forsberg, a veteran day oneer since 2004. He's seen success here, knows this track. Jonathan Hurst, loud and proud, the pride of Paducah. Mr. Cool, that's his name. That name again is Mr. Cool. He's going to be chasing down Chris Forsberg in that all-new Nissan Z. The Austin Energy Drink Z initiates into the bank. Good angle from him. Jonathan Hurst needs to catch up here, and he does just that. Compromise some angle to get that proximity. You can see how much higher Forsberg is. Now coming to the power alley, you can see him modifying and just manipulating that vehicle, getting it outside zone 2 and 3. Hurst does a really good job, tries to dive in, not mimicking the angle, does have that proximity, and then Forsberg brings that last outside zone, a little bang on the door there from Hurst as they cross the finish line, throwing him out of the way. But again, a great way to start 32, good indication, and it was painfully obvious if you saw how high Forsberg was against Hurst.
Yeah, you can see right off the bat here, Forsberg had a sort of dynamic initiation, but Hurst was a little bit more controlled, wasn't as out there, but then Hurst has the problem here, right? The angle, the line, right there, Hurst almost straightened up. We'll have to look at that again. His angle was very, very low there for a moment. Forsberg, on the other hand, in the lead, did not get all the way out to outside zone 2. He's been having that problem this weekend, not really being able to get the car all the way out to 2. And you can see as he comes around, watch his rear wheels, he grabs some handbrake going, trying to get the car out there to 2. Right. Hard to see with those dark wheels, isn't it? But I saw it live. I know it happened. In the chase position right here, Hurst is on the inside a little bit on zone 3, but mimics a little bit better by the inside clip. And then right here gives him a little bump, just for good measure, over the finish line. Gives it a little bit of a rub on that passenger side door.
Jonathan Hurst will be leading, Chris Forsberg giving chase. Hurst, the pride of Paducah. Put some dirt on it, man. Come on, man. Here we go. Jonathan Hurst, lovable character. Again, his podcast, again, hosted by Jacob over there, and he does a great job, the signature turquoise beanie. He had a great interview on that podcast. Be sure to listen to it. Here we go. So Hurst out front. He's got those Vitor tires. Chris Forsberg on GT Radio, an all-new Nissan Z initiates into the bank. Good angle from, again, Jonathan Hurst. Now look at Forsberg. So you saw, whoa, throw some more angle at it. Now coming into that power alley. Shoots off something. I don't know what the heck that was. Man, it looked like a drive shaft shooting off a pole. And now using all the course on that inside clip, now into that last outside zone, and rounds it out. What was that? What shot off of his car?
I don't know
man?
if it was a side skirt or what that was.
I don't know,
it was
man.
A long
dinosaur
piece of
bone. How we doing out there? All right, take a look at it again.
All right. So I like Forsberg's initiation right off the bat, mimicking much better. You can see in the lead there, Hurst is up higher than he was when he was in the chase, but his car is moving around a lot. He did get into, or no, he didn't. He got close to outside zone number 2, but he didn't fill it just like Forsberg didn't. So this is going to come down to who did a better job in the chase position here, I think, because the leads were fairly similar, but chase to chase, it's going to make a big difference here when you watch where Forsberg is positioned comparatively to where Hurst was positioned in his chase run. Forsberg is mimicking much better. He's getting the car positioned in the right spot. His proximity isn't 100%, but he's working on it. You can see there he got closer, and not the most ideal run from both of them. You can see some errors in the chase positions. You can tell that they were more comfortable in their lead runs. Out front, they did a better job positioning their cars, but they both missed outside zone 2, and this is something we've been talking about. We know outside zone 2 is going to be a problem because we've seen it through practice and qualifying.
That power alley, that transition going from the bank into outside zone 2, it's really, just doing it on your own, now you're chasing somebody down. You have so many elements literally coming at you, and right there, it looked like it was his driver's side skirt is what popped off.
Right.
You saw it kind of hanging and dangling, and then Forsberg caught it with his tire, pew, and shot off. So here we go, slide him left for Forsberg, or right for Jonathan Hurst. Looks like Canada, Ryan Lantagne, you say Forsberg one more time, and one more time. So they're going at it again. So a little bit more definitive in your eyes, Ryan, but your peers over there, and that being Chris Ewell and Brian Eggert, they're saying one more time. Do you agree with that? Or
No, I don't.
Obviously you don't. No,
Clearly I don't.
Yeah.
No, I just thought that the leads were pretty similar. They made the same mistakes, but chase to chase, I felt that the same mistakes were made, a couple, but Hurst made more of them.
Got it.
That was my view of it. But
all right.
Yeah.
Well, again, just physically, I got to tell you, Ryan, you and I are on one side of the kind of the box up here, and Chris and Brian, and you guys traditionally, don't communicate, until afterwards, and then you kind of elaborate on that. And I think that's the best method. We've even talked about separating you guys physically, like over the years, like one person across the track, one over here. But now cameras are a great utilization.
Soundproof boxes.
Yeah, right.
We could be shoulder to shoulder, but
headphones.
just stuck inside, can't talk with the outside world. Communication is cut off.
So as we advance on in our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32, Chelsea Denofa and Ula Jaeger. Again, Denofa with a top 10 qualifying position. Denofa locking in at 9th, and then Ula Jaeger with a 24th. So again, Forsberg and Hurst, OMT. Don't know what's going on with Taylor Hull. Haven't gotten an update of him in the pit if he's good to go. I know he was supposed to be the first battle. He called that competition timeout. He was intended to go against RCP. All right, so right now, again, Denofa and Jaeger. We are clear to send. Denofa was really on it earlier, and I think there is a major advantage of leading first. You get that kind of, in your back pocket. If you got a solid, clean run, you got the clean air.
And you set the bar.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. Chelsea Denofa initiates. Big angle there. Ula Jaeger, later initiation. And you see him just slowly creeping. No, actually, no. He's kind of keeping the same distance. He's just kind of running his own game here. Now coming to that power alley. Oh, very shallow. Here comes Jaeger. Now dives in. So compromising that outside zone 2 and just goes for it. Goes in for the kill on outside zone 3, but it does not pay off for Jaeger. You saw him kind of get close, had to back off, and that really just disrupted his whole line. Just from the start was kind of failure to launch there as Chelsea threw it in really aggressively.
Yeah, we know that RTR cars are fast, and everybody knows the RTR cars are fast, so you're going to have to make some compromises potentially if your car's a little bit slower to stay with that lead car. Now, the chase driver can initiate as late as the 1 cone, despite whatever the lead driver does, if they initiate really early or anything, but I want to watch the replay to see where Ula actually initiated. It looked maybe like it was too late, but we'll have to have a look at that. And what do you have an update here, Jared?
Yeah, I am hearing that he did not make his competition timeout. That's Taylor Hull. We'll get to that in a moment. Taking a look again here at our United States Air Force instant replay. And you can just see, Ula, so watch this again. He's off, he's running his own game. He says, all right, I'm not going to hit zone 2. Go in, try to dive in for just that disrupts. It just throws off. And we talked about this yesterday, Robin Ishida and I, once you start and if you're off, your whole synchronicity is just completely shot, because, these guys, they have what, 12 runs yesterday, right? And then a few today, and then warming it up, and
exactly.
You know, it's tough.
And you can see here we got that staggered start. Chelsea does like to start a little bit further back. He likes to really pace what the lead driver's doing, so that he can pace them properly off the line, as opposed to having to look, you know, when you've got a Hans device, the helmet, the halo seat, and you're trying to look to your left. When it's directly to your left, it's a little bit more difficult. So being back a little bit allows you to roll up and really watch exactly what they're doing.
Kind of get the peripheral.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, here we go. So
That's
Ula,
a cone hit.
and that's going to be a restart there. Jaeger flipped it. He tried to get out of the gate. He knows who's in his rearview mirror. And Chelsea, like you said, got the power. He's got the speed.
Yeah, we saw some practice runs yesterday where Denofa was in the chase, and you barely heard his car because the car ahead was slower and he didn't have to do very much. His car was just, you know, and then you put him in the lead and it's just screaming the entire time. So it's they definitely have a power, grip, everything.
That side
under
by,
those
man,
cars.
and you see those cars. Watch how that car reacts. That side by it grips while it's just crazy. I mean, those, again, the RTR, they have 3 wins. They have 3 wins out of 5, you know, rounds. I mean, obviously here this being the 6th. So they're very capable machines. You know, Chelsea won in Orlando. And here we go. Ula initiates. See, watch this. Look at him gain ground while still maintaining not as much angle as Ula Jaeger, but you see him just slowly kind of creeping, and that's a really good approach. Again, it's not completely foregoing the angle, but just taking a little bit. Oh, and then Jaeger shuts it down.
Yeah, and you could hear on this run, Chelsea was just feathering the throttle in the back. He gave himself some space because he knew if he caught up too quickly, he wouldn't have anywhere to go. So he was giving that space in the chase, being close, but not being so close that couldn't maintain what he was doing and didn't have a little bit of room to play with that slower car ahead. But you can see here, like you said, his angle was a little bit lower, but definitely right there in the right positioning. And you can see right there is a huge mistake from Ula, missing outside zone number 2. But then he tries to get into 3, goes a little bit too wide. We told him yesterday to make a nice smooth arc from the end of outside zone 3 to that inside clip. And a couple of drivers today have gotten into that wall by trying to draw that smooth arc, getting out a little bit too far.
And with that, unfortunately, Jaeger takes himself out, the Norwegian pilot, as Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Ula taking himself out. So get off your phone, man. There you go. Yeah, say hi. Look at that. What are you doing here? Playing Pokemon Go or something? Or are you playing Torque Drift? Download Torque Drift if you haven't already. Torque Drift available on all systems. Man, look at dude's hair right here. My man up here at the top, top right here. I like the hair, bro. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Big old. I like long hair, bro, too. But I like the fuzzy one. Homeboy, the green. Look at that dance. What do you got? Show me your moves, bro. Okay, that was just wacky wave of play. What's that? Okay. Here. All right, so right now, Rome Charpentier, RCP. RCP gets a bye run as, unfortunately, Taylor Hull not able to fix his car. We're ready to go. His wife, Tamara, comes up. She says, got to call a competition timeout. 5-minute allotment. Don't make it. Don't know exactly what happened. Hopefully, maybe Tamara and the whole family will text me or something to find out.
Something about a belt? Supercharger belt,
really?
potentially?
Gosh darn it.
Do they have a supercharger on that car? They must, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know they've had issues with that in the past. Like, it's throwing belts.
Everybody's throwing belts. I heard a bunch of people throwing belts this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know.
Superchargers are tricky, Jared.
Yes, they are. And also, this is the biggest bank we have in the season. It's massive. Yeah. I mean, it's so huge. And the surface, for those that didn't do either the Formula Drift VIP walk or the Throttle VIP walk, the surface is super rough.
Yeah, very porous.
Yeah, if it's sandpaper, it's like 5 grit, I always say. You know, it's not like that fine grit, you know, that finishing paper. No, man, this is like sticks and stones, and it just eats up tires. It's long. You're fully pinned. Yeah. So it's flat out. So let's lay out and listen. RCP, Rome Charpentier. Rome Charpentier, this is his bye run. He gets the fast pass, and guess what? He's going against field. I'll lay out and listen. And we do have to adjust the wall. Look at Jaeger, overcooks it. Outside zone 3, you're talking about that big arc, and then boink, does move the wall a little bit, so don't want a leading edge exposed here. So yeah, we are hearing that it was a belt on the Holes team. So unfortunately, it looks like we're gonna push it back a little bit, and let's make it official. Unfortunately, Hull is knocked out due to not being able, just ran out of time. Such a bummer, but RCP, Rome Charpentier, Garagistic, BMW, giving the moderns hell. Seen a lot of RCP shirts and hats out there. He's got a lot of fans. So RCP, mom and dad are in the building. They're cheering him on. Wifey's in the building. Thank you so much. We see y'all. So thanks again. RCP moves on. He's going against Matt Field, our #1 qualifier. That's a big uphill battle here. So there it is. You know what? As we're seeing Rome back in and in, so excited to have a new partnership. GoPro, the chase for the championship. It's going to come down to Irwindale, but it's been one heck of a season so far. Chase for championship brought to you by GoPro. This is it. The finals are set. The lights are on. Celebrating 20 years of FD, baby. Send it. Here we go. This is Formula Drift, and we are on the streets of Long Beach for the first round. Your winner, Matt Field. Welcome out to Road Atlanta. This is round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Thanks to Longdon Jr., 2-time champion.
The battles that we had at Orlando, I mean, they were intense. There was a lot of contact with the inside.
Wow, are you kidding me? Look at that. That was awesome. This is Englishtown Raceway Park, also known as Round 4. Simon Olsen, Adam L.D., neither have had a Formula Drift overall win, and one of them is going to make history. It is pro time here in St. Louis. The stage is set for round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We saw Field get Denofa. We saw LZ. Who's going to come out on top? Frederick Osborne shook up the standings. Matt Field now leads the pack coming into this round. The finals are set. Odie Bakshis against a new points leader, Frederick Osborne. Come on, boys, send it! Odie Bakshis initiates in that first outside zone. Osborne cutting through that smoke line. Odie gets on the throttle. We have a new winner at round 5. Odie Bakshis gets the win unanimously. Send it! Just throws a lovely early transition.
Made in Japan. Breed. Passionate about a life in racing? Circle Track.
Welcome back here to Evergreen Speedway. We are seeing our next battle, or a revisitation of a one more time battle. It was between Forsberg and Hurst. It was a majority rule, so 2-1. Two of the judges said one more time, and Lontaine, my co-host here for 32, said Chris Forsberg, but again, overruled, overpowered. And we are seeing them run one more time. Forsberg will lead. He qualified 8th. Jonathan Hurst qualifying 25th. And we are ready to send them.
They both have the opportunity now to fix the errors that they had on the first run. Hopefully the spotters were listening, what we were talking about, and are going to implement whatever it is that we talked about up here earlier into their,
That's pretty much it. I mean, they both had solid lead runs on their first run.
Hit outside zone 2.
Yep. Coming up power alley. Great initiation by Forsberg. Hurst a little late to launch into that first long outside zone. There we are looking at the telemetry there of both vehicles. That's awesome. Coming to the power alley, Jonathan Hurst diving in on outside zone 2, and then on 3. Good proximity. Like to mimic that angle though. And now in that final outside zone, there goes Forsberg filling all of it. Hurst does as well. But again, compromising that proximity, or compromising the angle to gain the proximity. Don't know if that's the right strategy.
That might have been a late initiation from Hurst there. We're going to have a look at that. But look, his line is lower. His angle's very low compared to what Forsberg's doing. Forsberg had a great initiation. Forsberg gets his tire in outside zone 2. Hurst does not. Forsberg gets into zone 3. Hurst gets into it, but not quite as deep. And then as we go to outside zone 4 here, looks like they both get in the box. Good proximity. But it's going to come down to how late he initiated in the chase position. Forsberg had a great initiation in the lead, did a nice snap to angle. And then right here, zone 2, watch Forsberg get in it, and Hurst is nowhere near it. So he's making a big compromise there. Didn't get as deep in outside zone number 3 either, but 4 does a better job, gets the car positioned right in the pocket through outside zone 4. But he needs to do that through the entirety of the run.
Well, you talked about late initiation. At what point is the point of no return?
Cone 1, the number one cone. So it goes 3, 2, 1. You can see them. Actually, they might just be the green cones you can see there. There's one under prcad.com. There's one under Bardal, and then there's one at the Busch Light.
Basically, when you see the banners and the ads on the wall, right? There's an opening of those banners and those walls. You want to initiate no later than, so right here, watch. Ready, boom, right there. That's the point. So point of no return. And Jonathan Hurst on initiation does a good job. Forsberg, he was aggressive, but has to fall back. You can see that ball, and Hurst hits the wall. That's going to be an incomplete for him. That is going to be all she wrote. The telemetry bottom left-hand corner, you can see obviously the mile per hour, but also the green. That's the G-force. So it's basically accel, decel. It goes green when they're accelerating. Imagine a weight in the middle of the car hanging on a string. When it goes green, it's swinging back. When it goes to moot point and it's slowing down, it's obviously red. So again, a good utilization of and just seeing all the different factors, but it's going to be all she wrote. Unfortunately for Hurst, he taps that wall, throws himself off course, and Chris Forsberg gets the win. Unfortunately, Hurst takes himself out. Get this, Forsberg and Denofa again. They always seem to find it, but look at this. Hurst just bounces off to Mr. Cool.
And he knew he needed to throw something out there. He needed to get on the wall through outside zone 1. The end of zone 1 is something we brought up in the briefing yesterday, telling them that's an area that's being missed. You got to fill all the way to the end of outside zone 1, and he got out there, but just a little too far.
Well, we're going to clean up a little bit of a mess, but again, Forsberg gets the win. It is decided. Where another driver that's elated and moving on to 16 is RCP. Lorette's with them now. Lorette.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jared. And it wasn't without a lot of effort. Rome, you're dealing with a lot of unseen issues.
Yeah, so I guess when we crashed in Orlando, we didn't know how bad the crash actually was. So we got out here, we were battling some things last night, and in qualifying, we actually lost power steering coming off the bank and had to finish the rest of the lap in qualifying with no power steering, which was not easy to do. Then yesterday when we started looking into it, we swapped the pump. We thought that's all it was. Come to find out that the frame rails were broken all the way down. So the rack was moving in the subframe, and the subframe was moving on the frame rails. And then it actually contacted the header, broke the header, so we were re-welding the header. And we were basically here till about 3:30 in the morning, me and the two guys, and just thrashing to get this car back together, trying to put on a good show for everyone for today.
Yeah, absolutely. These boys working real hard on just a little bit of sleep. Thank you very much, Jared.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rome. Good luck to you. You got a big battle. You got field to go against, so we'll see how that unfolds. All right, a gentleman that At one point was #1 qualifier, got knocked off, but he still qualified 4th. Travis Reeder. A lot of Reeder fans in the building, Dylan Hughes fans, because they're from here in the PNW. This is their home track. You can see Vancouver, Washington. Kazuya Taguchi, not from here. He's from Japan. Kazuya Taguchi, again, a definite force to be reckoned with. He got some bad luck yesterday. Don't know exactly what happened to his vehicle, but he was forced to go to his second run to get, he had an incomplete on his first run and then had to fight to get in. Did put down a score, so placing him in 29th. He came into this round of competition sitting 12th in points overall. And here we go. So Travis Reeder, the Nicholas GT Radial BMW. Got a lot of family and friends here in the building cheering him on. Travis Reeder initiates. High on the bank. This is what we've seen, man. Again, that lead car high on the bank, the chase car, foregoing that angle, but getting good proximity. But Kazuya slowly crawling forward into that power alley. Look at this. Nice lunge forward by Kazuya Taguchi. But Reeder filling all the zone. Is very reminiscent of what we just saw between Forsberg and Hurst. Now that final outside zone, Kazuya, really good job on that last outside zone. But again, hats off to Reeder. He filled all the spots. He's very familiar with this course. Take a look at it.
Reeder putting his car everywhere it needs to be, high on outside zone 1 from start to finish. Look at how precise he's been. Fills outside zone 2, maybe leaves it a slight bit early, but transitions the car into outside zone 3. Taguchi's right there with him, but he's putting that car well placed all the way through this course. Really doing a great job.
Outside zone 3 and 4 in the chase, though. Let's take a look at it again.
Chase, you're saying?
Chase, Kazuya,
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking strictly about Reeder right now.
My bad.
He's putting together a solid lead run. In the chase position, Taguchi is missing some things. Zone 2, zone 3, not getting into the box. He's got that proximity, but he's making compromises to have it. Zone 4, 2, not in the box. I'm very impressed with the high-level driving from Reeder, very consistently throughout the entire run. It wasn't just one specific area that was done well. He did well all the way through the course. That's what you need to do. You need to drive at that level to keep moving on and on in competition here. Now, Reeder getting into the chase position, how well can he adapt to what Kazuya is doing in the lead?
And this is what I talked about earlier. I think it's a major advantage to put that lead run, really flex and kind of just dunk on it, get it out of the way. And now, because all today it's going to come down to how well you chase and how well you manipulate the car and the proximity and filling those outside zones while navigating a car in front of you and the smoke. And Reeder, he is right there. He is just as high as Kazuya Taguchi. Taguchi now coming to the power alley. How's Reeder going to handle this? He is buried in smoke. Absolutely. Here's a shovel. Come on, man. Dig yourself out of it and into that inside clip. Both of them on it. Again, Reeder, very familiar with this track. He loves it. He knows it. Oh, no!
That was a 100-point chase run until that point.
Oh, no.
He was so high in outside zone 1. The positioning was perfect in outside zone 1. Could not have been better. He was in proximity. He was riding the wall just like Kazuya was in the lead. The positioning was fantastic. It all comes down to outside zone 4 now. Look at the positioning. He's in the pocket in outside zone 1.
He's above the pocket.
It's beautiful placement. Outside zone number 2. Taguchi gets in it, so does Reeder. Reeder only missed outside zone 3 a little bit, but if you're going to make a compromise, you have to make it somewhere to get it done right. Right here, a little bump in his door, walks up that front wheel, probably the front left wheel, and then causes him to lose angle as he tries to maintain angle over the finish line there. Not really doing it, but boy, did he try hard. So right here, outside zone 2, that's the one that people are missing in the lead, and he's even getting it in the chase. This is a phenomenal chase run by Reeder until outside zone 4. Right here, just gets a little too close, bumps Taguchi's door, and then that gets him offline, gets him off his momentum, and then isn't quite able to complete the course there fully.
Yeah, that is definitely a tough break there for Travis Reeder. We wait for the verdict here. Kazuya Taguchi. See the GT Radial, Up Garage, ISR Performance, and Travis Reeder. So again, did hit that door, does shoot out.
It all comes down to that bump in outside zone 4, Jared. It's unfortunate. Like I said earlier, it looked like he came out of drift, and all of us agree that it is coming out of drift, unfortunately.
That's it.
All comes down to that bump. His lead was incredible. His chase was incredible
until it wasn't.
Until that point. And when you get an incomplete, There's nothing that can overcome that incomplete other than the other driver getting an incomplete. And Taguchi did not have an incomplete. He made it through the course. He completed it. So unfortunately, that's one that Reeder did to himself there. Got just a little bit too close at the very end of the track. Had he left an extra 6 inches there, it might have been totally fine. He would have flowed through. But those are the mistakes that happen when you're that close and when you're pushing that hard. You know, we can't blame Reeder for that. That's him driving at that level. He did it through the entire course. Just one tiny little miscalculation right there.
You got to finish that run, and that's that risk. That's the risk and reward. If you know, he was feet away from getting that victory.
He really was.
He really truly was. So heart goes out to Reeder here. You can see the start here. Now, the lead car cannot move until the lights extinguish. You can see them both on the gantry, the start gate there, as well as in between the cars. And basically, the lead car can't move until they obviously extinguish. The chase car can lead and leave before the lead car. Also, the staggered start here. That's kind of
just visibility,
technique, visibility. You're talking about it earlier. So here we go. We are taking a look at Trenton Beecham and Dean Carney. Fairly equally matched battle, qualifying 13th and 20th. All right, Trenton Beecham, he was on it earlier in practice, and Dean Carney, he is definitely due for a podium as Beecham comes in that power rally, really flying to the outside zone too, both of them. Couple loose cannons right now, but tightening it up here. Again, I call it the funnel track. It starts so big and so long, and it tightens up to that last outside zone and that unforgiving wall. So, pretty decent run. They get, you know, some points of you know, they could definitely tighten it up. Yeah,
Dean Carney's doing an excellent job as well in the chase. Look at how close he is to both the lead car and the wall. Beautifully positioned in the chase. Right here it comes off a little bit in terms of proximity, but still following the same line until outside zone 3, where Beecham does get into the zone, but Dean does not. But up until that point, doing a phenomenal job. Right here, misses outside zone 4 in the name of proximity as well. But, you know, it's all comparative. So how is Beecham going to do in his chase? He's going to have to perform really well in outside zone 1 to match what Dean Carney's doing here in the chase position. But then he has some opportunities for an advantage here, and that's in outside zone 3 and outside zone 4 going into the chase. Dean Carney in the lead now is going to have to really run that high line in outside zone 1, just like he did in the chase. He's going to have to fill zone 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to have to run that really wide high line, and Beecham's going to have to match what he did in the chase and better it to get an advantage here.
See what we got here. Beecham out front, HyperNFT.io, Dodge Viper, Trenton Beecham, Clonex, BMW. Here comes Dean Carney, initiates, locked and loaded, the mean machine. But Beecham, he's right there. He's sliding up a little left foot brake. You see those front tires throwing some smoke. Now see how they handle it outside zone 2. Looks like Beecham loses a bit of angle. He shortens up and absolutely misses outside zone 2. Dives in on 3 now, tightens that inside clip. Dean Carney swings in that last outside zone. Beecham does find himself there. But that power rally, we talked about it yesterday. Imagine breaking the track in thirds. You have the outside zone, the big first, big bank. Power rally, outside zone 2 and 3, that's kind of a second, third, and then last one is a tight spot. Walk us through it.
Yeah, Trenton Beecham's a whole new man in this BMW, and he's really putting pressure on Dean Carney right now. You can see he's running that high line with him, but right there he straightens up, leaving outside zone number 1. Misses outside zone number 2, ends outside zone number 3. And Dean Carney is putting his car where it should be, around the track. Didn't get quite as deep in outside zone 4, but definitely got his tire in the box. Unfortunately for Trenton, I think that straighten coming off the bank is going to hurt him in a big way. But he is driving this car like we have never seen him drive before. This is clearly a good chassis for him, and he's very comfortable in it. Just needs to, get a couple of little things tightened up, but very different driving style and technique and ability from him we see in this car. I think that the straighten's just going to, end this day here right now.
Yeah. Like you said, Beecham, campaigned a Mustang before, and he's looking great in the BMW. But Dean Carney, he's definitely due. He's had a bit of bad luck, but he is always working. He's got a smile. He's got a really great attitude. Love Dean's energy, love Beecham's energy, but unfortunately that mistake there in that power rally. So Dean Carney gets the win. All right, let's quickly throw it down to the two redheads. Look at you guys. You guys look great down there. Lorette and Chris Forsberg.
Two gingers hanging out. Me and Chris here. Congrats on your win, Chris. And it's like a fine line out there between like disaster and just crushing it.
Yeah, the one more time battle, I felt really good in the lead, and Hurst was pretty close on us. It sounded like we pulled a little bit of a gap, but he was pushing us on the infield, bumped us a couple times, and then as we went into our chase run on that one more time, he was really fast into the bank, and he had like a little bit of a gap on me, and as I was trying to close it in, he was holding. I was like, there's no way you can hold this speed, and then yeah, he kind of bounced off the wall, and so he didn't give himself that margin to be able to slow the car down at the end of the bank, it seems. And so yeah, it's like you said, it's a very fine line to be able to be high, wide, and fast on this track.
Amazing in the chase position. Chris can see so many things happening. Best of luck, Chris. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette. And you said ginger, I said redheads, okay? So just to clarify there. So yeah, Forsberg moves on. As we move on, here we are. We're seeing Frederick Osbo, 3-time defending back-to-back champion, currently in the points lead. Can he be the first ever four-peat? That is the big question. It's going to come down to Irwindale. Just put it out there right now. But he's got to get through Mike Power first here in top 32 at Evergreen Speedway. Frederick Osbo, the Rockstar Engineering Toyota GR Supra, quickly escapes Mike Power's grip. You can see massive angle there. The Ford Star wheels go round, and the Nitto tires are gripping up. Mike Power shoots in on that power alley. It's like having a little bit of issues here. Now transitioning into that inside clip. Osbo, the gold nose, right on it. Man, that was a crazy flick he did that last outside zone. Almost like came unwound. That was wild. But Mike Power, a little bit of struggling there in that chase position. Don't know what's going on exactly. Talked to him briefly yesterday, but let's look at it again.
Osbo gets the car initiated well, but this is not the best run we've seen from Osbo. At the end of outside zone 1 here, he's going to have an issue keeping the car on the wall. You see some movement in the car there, trying to work the car out, but leaves the wall early. Handbrake pull at outside zone number 2, which is what we don't want to see, but it was a quick one, so it wasn't a big deal. Gets into outside zone 3 and 4. In the chase, Mike Power is kind of having some trouble keeping proximity. You can see right here, pretty far back, the angle's not quite matching. The line's low, and right there he dips down quite a bit. He's going to miss outside zone number 2, and then miss outside zone number 3 as well. So he's not positioning his car very well in the chase. Doesn't have the proximity at the beginning, and doesn't really have it through the finish here either, and he's missing a lot of the zones. Outside zone 4 was missed completely. So going into the lead now, Mike needs to get the wall high on outside zone 1 and fill it completely, and then get into all those infield zones, the tough ones. Zone 2 is difficult to get the right line from the end of outside zone 1, get the right momentum, get all the way out there without overstepping the line either. So it's a very tricky part of the track.
Frederick Osbo cannot afford a mistake here if he's going for that championship here in 2023. Mike Power initiates. Frederick Osbo does have great proximity. Mike Power, look at, he is hitting his stride right now. Really good angle, that Type S S15 into the power zone with that clean air. He is a new man. And now Frederick Osbo shows you why he's 3-time champion. Get to the side of Mike Power. Now transitioning that last clip. And right there on the door, almost gets into it, but does not. So again, unfortunately for Mike Power, the Type S S15 had that mistake going to the power. Mean and, you know, that dark looking mean machine. Him and I and Larry Chen, we're going to be over at the Type S booth here, but again, that mistake there on that first run by Mike Power in the chase, that's going to be the deal breaker.
Yeah, he's doing a much better job in the lead. You can see him high on zone 1. He lost a bit of angle there, and Osbo had more angle than him for a little bit, but he does manage to get out to outside zone 2. He does a pretty good job in zone 3, leaves it a little early, and then gets into 4, but Osbo is right there with him every step of the way. You can see him matching angle, matching line, matching everything. So chase to chase, Osbo definitely has the advantage. Lead to lead, I would argue that Osbo has the either advantage or very similar to what Power did there. So it's going to come down to the chases, like you said. Who's going to really win that chase run? Who's got more aggression, proximity, mimic in the chase position? I think the boys are all in already. I would say Osbo comfortably, I think, is who's going to move on here.
Yeah, and again, just Mike Power, you know, he moved to California, the car's kind of bouncing around. He's not getting as much seat time as he did in previous seasons. He's still got the heart, still got the passion, but seat time, man, you got it. You got to get behind the wheel.
Yep.
And unfortunately, you know, Mike Power, he's going to be hanging out. Him, myself, Larry Chen, we're going to be over the Type S booth at 3:30, and there it is. Frederick Osbo gets the win. Frederick Osbo gets the win and advances on into the 16. And next up, a massive battle two-time champion, a winner at Atlanta. You can see the Rockstar teammates. Little high five visually. Give them a little thumbs up. Both those cars operated by Papadakis Racing. Both Rockstar pilots, both on Nitto. Actually, all three cars in the screen are on Nitto tires. Where's Bergenholtz screaming somewhere right now? Ryan Turk, Vaughn Gittin Jr., two legends and veterans of the sport, making a name for their particular energy drinks, Rockstar and Monster, Toyota and Ford, both on Nitto, Drift Alliance homies. And here we go. Again, veterans of the sport doing multiple different things. I'm gonna be hanging out with Ryan Turk at World Time Attack Challenge in Sydney at the end of the month. He's bringing out his Formula Supra, that Judd V10 powered Supra. I mean, that thing's a weapon. Love that thing. I'm gonna be out there talking about drifting, so excited about that. But right now we're talking about Ryan Turk and Vaughn Gittin Jr.
This should be fun, Jared.
This is a big battle here. You know, Ryan Turk, he's going for a championship. He'd love to get it, but Vaughn Gittin Jr., remember, he won in Atlanta in this car, and he is driving out of his mind. Both these guys in practice were really throwing down, but right now, this is when it counts. Ryan Turk initiates, Vaughn Gittin Jr. close in proximity. Look at how tight they are. Ryan Turk now coming down to that power alley. Let's see how Vaughn handles it. He feels all that second outside zone. He drops up, now drops back in, kind of going back and forth, but Ryan Turk has a solid lead run. He's putting his car in all the right places, massaged it into that last outside zone. Make some noise for Turk and Gittin.
Wow, the grip and the power of that Mustang. You can see Vaughn get into position in the chase and just walk the car right next to Turk's car. It's incredible just how fast these things are. But let's watch the initiation. They both get to angle. Vaughn's a little bit down, but then right here he's on line. And look, the car just shoots forward and he's right there. A little bit of movement.
Sideways, that sidebar.
Yeah, it's nuts. A little bit of movement in Vaughn's car. Turk looks really solid up front in terms of stability, but misses a bit of outside zone 2. Better in 3. Vaughn's right there with him, positioning his car. I think 4 is where Vaughn was inside, and yeah, he was inside a little bit there, trying to maintain that proximity and staying off the wall. But right here, look at Vaughn, right on line, and just kind of slides the car in nice and tight. Gets really, really close to Turk, who's looking very, very controlled in the lead. Yeah, Turk does not do well in outside zone 2, but does much better in outside zone 3. Vaughn's right there with him as they go by inside clip 1, but Vaughn misses 4. So, Turk, he's going to get into the chase. He's got an opportunity here. He has to do just as well as Vaughn did in the lead in the chase, in outside zone 1. He's got to stick to Vaughn's door. That's going to be tricky since that car is so fast. Once they get into the infield, just match everything he's doing, fill the zones exactly just the way that Vaughn is. Vaughn in the lead now, he's got an opportunity. Zone 1 was really solid by Turk, but zone 2 was sort of missed by Turk, right? So Vaughn, if he gets out there, fills zone 2, can get an advantage there. And through 4, Turk's just got to stick it to the door on the right line.
Here we go. Who's moving on? Who's going against Osmo in 16? Vaughn Gittin Jr. or Ryan Turk? Good initiation there by Vaughn Gittin Jr. You see that Rain X Toyota GR Corolla jump to the side of the Ford Mustang. Two very different kind of attitudes of vehicle into that power alley. Massive angle there for Vaughn Gittin Jr. Ryan Turk quickly lets them get by, but then jumps right back to the passenger, the driver's side of that Ford Mustang, and Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Just threw too much angle
at
outside.
Too much angle at it. It fights back, and it looks like Ryan Turk might be getting the victory as Chelsea Denofa and the RTR team are looking on. That is very similar to, let's just call it what it is, a Reader scenario.
Yep.
You know, but here's Vaughn out front with the clean air, just overcooked it and burnt the Nittos.
We've been commenting all weekend.
Oh, you see it? Look at,
he knows. He
gutted.
knows.
No way.
We've been commenting on Vaughn's transition from inside clip 1 to outside zone 4 all weekend. It's been phenomenal. The rotation of the car, the quickness, and the amount of angle he's been maintaining through there, but this time it bit him. He went a little bit too far. But Turk right here in zone 1 did a great job maintaining that proximity. Vaughn did a little bit better in zone number 2, got the tire in the box, which Turk didn't do earlier, but Turk's right there with it, making a couple of little compromises, but it doesn't matter because Vaughn right there overcooks it and straightens up before the finish line. So that's going to sign his
He's going to sign the contract.
I was going to say death warrant, but that's not right. He's done. I believe that's going to be it for him right there. That over-rotation just ended it for him, unfortunately.
It's almost like watch Turk falling off, too. He wasn't going to make it to outside zone 4. I think he got a little bit of a break there. but Vaughn was throwing it all out there. He was just putting all his cards on the table.
That was fun to watch.
That was really fun to watch. Make some noise. Ryan Turk gets the win and advances on, taking out Vaughn Gittin Jr., who won in Atlanta. And you saw Chelsea Denofa, his RTR teammates, and he knew it was over right there too. How we doing? Our fans here got some sweet hats, getting nuts, some GR, Toyota Corolla. You're stoked. All right, well, it's Frederick Osbo and Ryan Turk going against each other. The Controlled Chaos Stars going against each other in the 16. This is how it's all shaping up. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we will not be seeing Odi Bakshi's buy run, but guess what? He has the fast pass into the top 16 because he qualified number 2, only 30 cars. So just a few more battles left here in what was top 32. Now whittling it down further and further to find out who moves on to the top 16. Thanks for joining us either online or in the building. I'm Jared Deanna. When we come back, I'm going to have the host of our Formula Drift podcast, Jacob's going to be joining me here, and we're going to be talking about all things podcasting and drifting and Formula Drift. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here to Evergreen Speedway.
We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
One bottle, so many great things. When your engine reaches 75,000 miles or more, like on this truck, years of carbon buildup leads to reduced fuel economy, increased wear, poor acceleration, and higher emissions. Max Restore is specifically designed for high-mileage engines with quality PEA and proprietary detergents to remove those stubborn legacy deposits. And it includes a friction modifier to reduce future wear in the upper cylinder of your vehicle's engine. Restore performance and protect your high-mileage engine with Royal Purple Max Restore.
Ford Star, Euro, import, American, with bold colors and custom fitments. Your wheels, your way. Visit Fordstar.com.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
I bet. So I just asked Ryan, that was a crazy one. And he said, yeah, the build up to it. You know, when you're going against Vaughn Gittin Jr., you got to bring your A game. But I was wondering if you also have to dial it back a little bit because it's so treacherous out there.
No, I mean, you can't dial it back. You got to go in 100% at the best that you can drive and at the hopefully the biggest comfort level that you have on the track. And we got the car set up on the razor's edge, so I really have to be on point and make no mistakes for this thing to work properly. And thankfully, it showed out there when we were able to put 2 good laps together. And Vaughn made a little mistake in the last turn. That pretty much sealed the deal. But it was a good battle overall. And yeah, the build was good. The boys had to do a clutch right before we went out. They got it done just in the nick of time for us to get out there and get past. So we really needed those points and pumped to move on.
And I don't know how Frederick and you are like magnets together, but you're going to be facing him next. So where do you go with that one?
I feel like I need more points than he does, so we're going to give it hell.
Ryan, thanks so much. Jared?
Right, well, there you go. Yeah, I feel like I need more points. Joining me here in the booth, Jacob, host of the official Formula Drift podcast, the Outer Zone.
The Outer Zone.
Outer Zone.
Outer Zone. You got to do it with the Canadian in the
Yeah,
part.
I know. I was ripping on you. So if you don't know Jacob, again, he is the host of the official Formula Drift podcast. He's doing a great job. Get some good in-depth stories. Even Sean Adriano, staff members, drivers, not exclusive to just drivers. But what's been your favorite interview? Mine. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
no, it was
that.
definitely up there.
No, but was something, did you get surprised by like, what? Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think most of Dylan Hughes, to be honest with you.
Really?
And that was one of the ones I did probably the most research. Like him and his dad and I had a conversation for almost 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
We were on the phone and like that's, I don't want to give up like all the secrets, but I have no problem calling family members to get details. Cool. But yeah, it was good. He was so real, and it was an incredible interview.
Yeah, Dylan, what was it? Dylan was telling me, I guess next year, he told me a crazy stat. Also, his finger's broken.
Yeah,
that's also,
I know.
he broke his finger, man.
He's just palming the wheel the whole time.
Yeah, his middle finger on his left hand.
Is it?
Yeah, he put a metal rod in there to keep it straight.
Yeah,
so when he's driving, his middle finger is extended. He's not flicking anybody off. It's just what's going on. But all right, so Jacob, don't go anywhere. I'll call some action. We'll get your you're filling in for right now. Yeah. But again, be sure to check out the Outer Zone, the official Formula Drift podcast, with Jacob as your host, and again, the whole bevy of Formula Drift family members. João Barrion from Brazil, Ryan Literal here in the Power Stop Brakes S chassis. Here we go, João Barrion. He hit the wall hard earlier in practice. Maybe got it out of his system because right now he is throwing down for his town. Talking about Brazil. And good angle there from João Barrion coming into that power alley. Ryan Literal needs to catch him right now. He is back there quite a ways and lacking that angle from Literal in that Power Stop Brakes S15s. The RV Army in that last outside zone. That's where João hit earlier in practice, right before he went into qualifying. But looks like he buttoned it up, no problem, is back at it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Ryan was definitely playing it safe. We saw a little bit of a shallower angle coming off Outer Zone 1, but looking at the replay now, João got it in there. He tucked it in. He is a little bit shallower. You can see Ryan falling back a little bit. Not sure what he's struggling with there, but still trying to work through the best way to keep up with João. A little bit shallow coming through 2, although he did fill a little bit of 3 there. This transition was nice coming into the inner clip, and then the last zone was great. And I'm curious to see what Ryan does out front, because I mean, since the beginning of the year, he has been getting better. He's been figuring out all those gremlins, and I'm excited to see what happens when he takes the lead on this one.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, like I said, I think it's an advantage to lead first as opposed to chasing first, because you just put it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
You have that kind of leg to stand on, and then in the chase, it's going to come down to chase run through the entirety of today.
Yeah.
Just who is tidier in the chase position.
There's definitely some confidence there in doing that, but look at Ryan.
Hey, signing some autographs, giving hugs, snapping necks, cashing checks. He says he's taking out Frederick. He needs more points, he says. He doesn't care. Championship, schmanship. He doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Freddie's got 3.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's it's going to be interesting when they
divided.
go. I know. It'll be interesting. I wonder what the team's discussing there. The setups. Do they just like part ways?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Of
Oh
course.
yeah. Oh yeah. This is bragging rights at the bar, baby.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get to that obviously after 32. Here we go. Ryan Little. There you go. So here we go. Now he throws it down, and João Barrion, he's on the struggle bus in that chase position. Literal little left foot break there. Now comes in that power alley. That allows João. Ooh, he overcooks it. Literal hammers down João. He shuts it down. As long as Literal finishes out this run, he's gonna get the victory. So hopefully his spotter says, keep it going, keep it moving. And he does just that. João Barrion, don't know exactly what happened to him, but he parks it going off the bank into that second outside zone. It seemed independent. Didn't seem like Literal threw him off. Walk us through it, Jake.
Yeah, so Ryan looked like a little bit late to initiation there. You can see, trying to get that tire smoke up, get that wheel speed up, and you can see right about here, there it is. You can almost see him light the flares. Fills the rest of the zone, and then João just looks like trying to keep up, overcooked it, caught the back end of Ryan Literal, and Ryan was, I'm hoping kind of was aware of what was going on, just finished the run, get the points on the board. At the end of it, it's just a bit of practice at that point, so.
Yeah, unfortunate turn of events there for João. Make some noise for him. João Barrion from Brazil. The Barbarious Corvettes, and it looks like Ryan Literal will be getting the victory. The Power Stop Brakes Collab S15. He's on the GT radials. Literal's moving on.
Yeah, congrats. I'm excited to see him up in the top 16. Yep. Looks like he's getting the kinks worked out. So it's gonna be going to be great to see what he does with the rest of the weekend. So a little bit of confidence goes a long, long way.
Oh yeah, and also it was brought to my attention that is a decel area going from outside zone 1 into the power alley. It's going to be a natural decel, obviously within a degree. You're not utilizing all of the power stop brakes. You're when you're throwing and transitioning, you're going to take some speed out of it naturally just coming down into it. So, all right, so we got Joao Barrion being towed off. Ryan Littoral will advance on. He goes against Odie Bakshis, who's on a tear. He's got momentum, getting that victory in St. Louis, our most recent stop. Simon Olsen, he qualified in that top 5 spot. He finished 3rd in St. Louis as well.
Yeah, he's having just an incredible season.
Simon?
Yeah.
Dude, unreal.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I remember seeing his first laps at Long Beach, and that was arguably better than his entire season before. I mean, just the confidence of getting into an Odie setup car.
Yeah, right? it's just so much great knowledge. I think it's awesome. So, yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll get Joao off here. We'll take a look here with Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. Type S, if you haven't purchased your Type S gear, we have it for sale. Special deals on site only at the Formula Drift booth. That's the Fun Haver booth. They're supported by Type S as well. But let's take a look with Type S and the Soren one, Brandon Sorensen.
What's up, guys? My name is Brandon Sorensen. We're at round 6 Formula Drift at Evergreen Speedway. This is your Type S course preview. We're gonna click the car into first gear through here, get the green light, second through the chicane, third gear, fourth gear, give it a little bit of a clutch kick to get the weight transfer, and then throw it out that wall. All gas, no brakes, and we're just gonna look for the 2 on the side of the wall to start decelling and setting up for our outer 2 zone. Make sure you're filling that all the way, flick it towards the wall, fill all of outer 3 and just shoot towards that inner clip. Keep your eyes locked on it, and then towards the outer 4. Make sure you don't get too close to the wall, things pretty brutal, and just finish out the rest of the course. Stay in it and make it look good for the fans. And that is your Type S course preview.
All right, big high and wide there. You can see the fans streaming in still. Some up on the fence, some up in the bleachers. Little warm in the direct sun, but nice breeze. So, about 80 degrees right now. Again, with our ACT weather update. ACT celebrating 30 years of clutch performance. Champions choose ACT.
Yeah, I love this track.
I do
absolutely
too.
love this track.
Yeah.
And the element of like how hot the tires get going through 1, and everybody trying to deal with that and change up the setup of the car to keep the tires under you. It's nuts. And taking a look at the track map here, you can see where that decel zone is, coming off of 1, going into 2 to set the car up. Although not everybody decels there. Yeah. Chelsea Denofa really known for kind of just keeping his foot into it, which for some drivers is, not that it's difficult to chase, it's just a different thing you have to evaluate and work with.
Yep. All right, well, we're talking about 32 into 16. A driver finds himself into 16, and he's leading the championship. Can he lead after this round of competition? There he is. Freddie is with Lorette Nickel. Lorette.
Well, I was just asking him because, first, congratulations on your win. We're going to see him top 16, but he's going against his teammate, Ryan Turk, and so I asked, do you guys discuss what's coming up, or do you find a little bit of space now and between top 16?
Well, we're both two pretty polite guys, right? So we kind of like tippy-toe around each other a little bit. We do not talk what we're going to do in the battle and how we're going to drive, but I think we're both looking forward to it. We know that anytime we go against each other, it's all out, and we've had a few battles like that. So, it's going to be an interesting battle. Ryan's on rails here, just took out Von Gittin now, so I know I'm going to have to bring my A game.
And you said finding that A game, you were struggling just a little bit, but the best runs of the weekend so far were put down against Mike. What are you fighting against?
It's just tricky here grip-wise. It's pretty loose on the bank, and then it gets ultra grippy coming down from the bank, and then it gets loose again. So we're trying to have a setup that can deal with all of that. We're struggling a little bit in practice. We had a drivetrain issue there that took us out for summer practice, but kind of reeled it in for qual, and it it felt really good now having some of my best runs against Mike. So hopefully that can set the tone for the rest of the day.
Well, we're about to see these two teammates go against each other in the top 16 a little bit later.
Thank you so much, Lorette. Thank you, Freddie, and Jacob, again, host of Outer Zone Formula Drift podcast. This is a revenge battle from St. Louis here, man. Got Robbins and James Dean.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those you automatically think, oh, maybe James is going to win, but you forget, like, Robert Thorne, like, that's, yeah, it's crazy, so.
Here we go. James Dean leading Alec Robbins, giving chase. James Dean initiates. You can see him high on the bank. Robbins, great proximity, a little lower, but now drops into formation. James Dean fills that second outside. So, oh my goodness. That's going to be, oh, snap.
You can almost feel the frustration coming out of there.
Dang. Hey, you know, stoked, Alec Robbins, you just called it. You said it.
Anything can happen.
And I mean, look, it happened to Vaughn. It happened to Boss, man. He over-rotated in that last outside zone. He lost it right there. James, huge deficit now. What went wrong?
It's, yeah, I mean, coming through Eder Zone 1, everything looked great. He sets his angle almost perfectly. See a small waver there, and then you can see the left foot brake and this snap right here. You can see the car, and we did see this with the RTRs in a couple other rounds, so maybe it's something with that the new suspension setup or the layout, but it's this interesting thing where you watch the momentum kind of carry the rear end of the car come around. So, yeah, it's interesting. That being said, James Dean, he's the kind of guy now where in the chase, he is going to pressure Alec Robbins the whole way.
Watch this, real quick. Update. Alec Robbins, it was brought to my attention, had a large correction and straightening in the chase position, independent. So let's run that back. And that, I'm being informed by, you know, you're here in the booth next to me. Yeah. The judges are now over there. Ryan's going to rejoin me in a moment after we get done conversing. But Alec Robbins had an independent straightening in that chase position. Well,
it's like a magic trick. It's like, you know, you're looking over here, you should be looking back here. But yeah, that's going to make things a little bit spicy.
Yeah, coming off the bank, he has a large correction and gets thrown off. So basically it's going to come down to this run. I think James Dean might have gotten a little bit of a break there after a major mistake, but Robbins had an independent straightening as well. So I got to chalk this up to a double incomplete. So it's coming down this run. Alec Robbins out front, James Dean, that chase position. Robbins high on the bank. James Dean, he's got something to prove. He's trying to grind that tire into the door of Robbins. And Robbins comes in that second outside zone. James Dean finds himself right there. Dials it in. It looks like he's grinding on the door, transitioning down to the last outside zone. And James, like you said, you could almost feel the frustration and just being like, oh, hell no.
And this just shows why he is arguably one of the greatest of all time, if not. Like his ability to chase and cars of different speeds and different
Robbins is twisting the screws on him, man. I mean, he's got a good lead run.
Yeah. I mean, Alec is driving incredibly well, but same thing. Like James is just like, no, I'm just going to be here. This is very similar to when he first got into FD, like how he would kind of almost lead the car a little bit, but look, he's just painting the door. Just showed up with a can of paint, and here we go. I'm gonna sit here and make sure that you
use this black model, this rubber model.
Yeah.
So here's the true serum for the first run. Here's our drone. So watch Robbins. Focus on Robbins. So James comes down. Robbins.
Was that a complete straighten? I mean, the big thing they're gonna watch for now is if there was any opposite lock or if the front wheels went to zero. So. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of debate about this one.
So again, this is the second run. This is with Robbins leading. James Dean, good proximity, a little lower. Robbins fills all that second outside zone going into third. Both of them missed that third outside zone, but James, again, making his presence felt in that final outside zone. Robbins hits it real quick, quits it. Splitting hairs here, and you know, lead versus lead, chase versus chase. Obviously, the first run was a wash for James Dean. A correction is a correction, like they say, sin is sin. Just kind of applying that. Oh, and look at this. Looks like James Dean will get the victory. James Dean gets the win.
There's going to be some conversations
Jacob,
about this.
This is a great segue here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Who are the next guests on Outer Zone on the podcast?
We actually recorded this weekend in the pits. So Vaughn was on, Ula was on, Robert Thorne, Matt Fields.
Oh, wow.
And Ken Gucci. We talked to Ken. He explains what happened with his car. So it's going to be a great episode.
Awesome. Well, Jacob, thanks for what you do, man. Great contribution to the Formula Drift family. I'm going to bring in Lontaine. That's going to give me, but thank you again. Head on out.
All right.
I'm going to get Lontaine in. Thank you. Again, be sure to listen to Outer Zone. I'm going to bring in Ryan Lontaine to break down what happened here. It's a great, again, segue. Right here. Straightens out. Watch. Boom. Right there. He counters. the wheels are absolutely straight. Again, Formula Drift, not Formula Drive straight. And James Dean, you see him absolutely rotate. So that run is a wash. We're going to slow it down for you, Ryan. And all you guys agree on this?
Yes, yep. Yeah, so as they hit play here, watch Robbins' front wheels. James is doing what he needs to do in the lead. Robbins right here goes straight. You can see the wheels turn in, and for quite a distance, he's not
He
drifting.
reinitiates even.
Yeah, so that's going to be an incomplete for Robbins, and then this is going to be an incomplete for James Dean.
No.
And that makes the double incomplete right there. We go to the second run of this battle. In the second run, you can see that Robbins missed outside zone 2, missed outside zone 3, wasn't putting his car in the right place, and James Dean was on his door the entire time. That was an incredible chase run. He was so close, matching exactly what he was doing. And even though he was missing the zones, James Dean was right there with him, door to door. He finished off outside zone 4 beautifully, right on Robbins' door, matching angle, in the pocket. Could not have been a better chase run. Unfortunately for Robbins, he missed 2, 3, and part of 4, so not an ideal lead run while we had a phenomenal chase run. So, James Dean.
The luck of the Irish was on his side there with Robbins making that mistake.
But
unfortunately for
James Dean, definitely got lucky that Robbins incompleted.
That's what I'm saying.
10, not even 7 seconds before, 5 seconds. So close. Yeah.
So, here we go. Let's take a look. We got Diego Higa qualifying 10th. Daniel Stuckey in that chase position, that M-Spec performance vehicle. Diego Higa quickly just slingshots his way into that wall. He's looking great this weekend. Would love to see him advance on. Oh, looks like a tire goes off. We'll have to take a look and run that back, but through that power alley into outside zone 3. Stuckey, that does allow him to gain some ground in that last outside zone. Diego Higa, a little correction there. I might have tapped the wall, but let's run it back and take a look. Definitely one tire off, coming off that bank in that transition.
We've seen a lot of drivers not going deep enough in outside zone 2, but this is the first time we've had a tire go over the line in competition here, but that's the opposite side of the challenge of going through outside zone 2 area. So right there, we're going to see one tire from Higa go off the track. Stuckey in the chase position is missing outside zone number 3. Higa did a better job there. Higa transitioning for outside zone number 4, and Stuckey misses part of it, not really on the same line through there, but the big issue from Higa there, of course, is the tire off in zone 2. That's going to hurt him. But chase position, what do we got here from Stuckey? He's not really all the way up, kind of lowering his angle right there. It looked like Higa's tire stayed on the line on the inside, so it was just a one tire off. Did a good job on 3. Stuckey missed 3. So Stuckey now needs to stick it to the wall, put it in the right spot in outside zone 2, 3, 4, and then Higa just needs to stay close, mimic what he's doing, and fill the zones with him. If Higa can fill those zones with Stuckey the way he does them, mimicking, he can have an advantage there.
Absolutely. Here we go. Now Stuckey out front, M-Spec Performance, S-Chassis, Diego Higa. Let's see if he gets aggressive here. And already to the back bumper of Stuckey. Both of them initiating. Stuckey kind of a slow roll into that, and that throws off Diego Higa, but now he works his way up the bank into the power alley. Diego Higa buried in smoke. Now to that third outside zone. Here comes Stuckey and Higa. Higa, great chase job. Stuckey, little snap in that last outside zone. We got contact.
Yep.
It looked like Stuckey hit the wall and Diego was so close. Looks like that front left of Higa. Where'd he go?
The smoke? Where'd he disappear? He just disappeared off the track. He must be behind the banner right there.
Yeah.
We can't see him behind the banner.
Yeah.
That's fun. So it looked like you said initially that Stuckey was rolling in slow. Higa tried to get the car initiated behind him and then didn't have the momentum anymore, dropped down a little bit, works it back up, but Stuckey is up on outside zone number 1 pretty well. Right there, Diego's got a bit of movement in the car as well. Stuckey doesn't get all the way out to outside zone 1, just gets a tire and kind of midway through outside zone number 3. And then going into 4, this is where the big problem happens. So Stuckey hits the wall, and he's lucky. It looks like Higa pushed the back of his car. He was going to straighten, I think, and then Higa being right there sort of bounced his car back to angle a little bit, and that might have hurt, definitely hurt the front left of Higa's GT86. So he definitely has some damage in the front left of that car.
All right, so taking a look here, Diego Higa underneath, looks like some suspension bits broke that front left. Brazilian pilot. Make some noise for Diego Higa, coming all the way from Brazil. He's got just a ravenous following. Slide him left for Higa, right for Stuckey, and it looks like Ryan says Higa, and so do the other judges. It's unanimous. Diego Higa in 16. Unfortunately, Daniel Stuckey knocked out. 4 more battles left. Looks like we'll get Higa towed off here. We got Olsen versus Wang, Castro versus Mohan, Hughes versus Thorne, Sorensen versus Novak. And it sounds like Lorette is with the tall one, Mr. James Dean.
I sure am. I'm with James Dean and his girlfriend Becky, who just is amazing. It's a win, but I know you're frustrated. So how do you clean that up moving forward?
Just don't do what I just did in the lead. I was absolutely sickened with myself. That's the first time I spun that car, and the first time I spun in competition probably since I was 12 or something. So I was really frustrated, but I know what I did wrong. I was coming in off the bank hard, and like to slow down and transition at the same point, you're slowing down a lot, and I think I got on the brakes too hard too soon, and it just snapped the car too hard. So I couldn't believe my eyes and my feeling when it was happening, but I just tried to reset, stay calm, and chase him hard. And what I didn't know is that he actually straightened behind me before I spun in that same run. And then I chased him as hard as I could, and we got the win because of that. So definitely not my proudest win, but we're getting through. We're into top 16, and time to reset, stay calm, refocus, and try to clean it up for tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you reset at this point?
Drink this water, have something to eat, just try to chill out, spend some time with the fans. They always give you positive energy. You know, and take your mind away from overthinking about something. So I just need to reset, and I'm sure that won't happen again. So let's hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And just replaying all that, getting it organized, and looking at the standings, you're 7th. So how would you assess your year so far?
The year so far, all things considered, I'm probably my own worst critic. So like, I'd like to be doing better. I felt like we were a bit unlucky the last round because I felt really comfortable there. So that's the event where I really felt like, oh, we can do this. But today is challenging. This track is hard. It's hard for everybody. It's a changing track all the time. But progress over the year has been, I would say, good. Like, I want better, but I'm sure it will come in time. And we're learning the car every single round. The team have been great, and just doing everything they can to make me feel at home. And just keep the best, and hopefully the day comes.
Well, obviously a long-standing figure in FD.
All right, well, thank you so much, Lorette. And James, you got lucky. Go buy a lottery ticket. I liked what he said. I haven't spun since I was like 12.
We had a good laugh at that one.
Yeah. All right, so taking a look at the standings. So this does not reflect qualifying. Bakshi's picked up 3 points. Matt Field picked up. How many points do you get for number 1 qualifier?
3?
Yeah.
So it's 3 for Osbo, 2 for Field.
No, 3 for Field.
3 for Field. Oh, because he qualified
first.
first. Right.
1 for Olsen.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so that's not reflected in the Drivers' Championship.
So 291.
I'm
Matt Field, right?
Yep.
So he's 12 back from Osbo.
Yep. So again, only 43 points separate first through 5th. You can see Forsberg still back there, and with 100 points per round, or 103 technically. What's up, bros? Got some Tanofa bros. Yeah, dude. Crushing the game. Got some brewskis, broskis. Oh, homeboy threw on the peace sign with the Michelob Ultra.
Brewskis, broskis.
Yeah, broski. Broski. I like the shades, dude. Looks like Oliver Tree. Bootleg Oliver Tree over here. Or Andrew WK. Homegirl's hyped to be here. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us out here. Throwing some shotgun, hanging loose. Out in the pits, fans are right up in there. It's complimentary with the purchase of a ticket. You get to cruise the paddock at halftime. We got the K&N halftime show. Myself and Larry Chen and Matt Field and Chris Forsberg, we're going to be over there at 3:10. It's going to be pretty sweet, so join us over there. They have 2 new shirts. They have the Larry Chen Peaker shirt. That's for sale. Forsberg blackout shirt. The brand new Lean K&N E36 pin. Got mini helmets. Halftime hangout. Myself, Larry, Forsberg, and Field, and they're launching their all-new dry flow oil-free air filter. K&N dry flow air filters are all black in color, which is why we're launching an exclusive all black blackout Forsberg shirt available at both the K&N booth and Forsberg's pit. So be sure to come on by. That's at 3:10, and then I'll be over at the Type S booth with Larry as well, and Mike Power. That's going to be at 3:30. So join us over there. K&N, the official air filter of Formula Drift, and Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. Track is clear, and we're seeing Olsen and Wang. Simon, who's crushing it, top 5. Forrest Wang, we haven't seen him for a few rounds. Glad to see him back. I know he's got a great fan base. And talking to Jacob there, Olsen just hitting his stride, man. He's having fun. It's like you know, he's always got a smile on his face. He's got a really good positive attitude. Some drivers don't wear losses that well. He's got a really good attitude, but just him and peanut butter and jelly, baby. You know, oldie Bakshi's turning 40 yesterday. Seems to be working out. Here we go. Simon Olsen out front. Forrest Wang in the chase position. Both S chassis, but two very different setups. Forrest Wang lunges forward, has to back off. Olsen signed, sealed, and delivered into that first outside zone. Outside zone 2, fills all of it, transitions into outside zone 3. Boom, Forrest Wang getting nuts. Yellow Speed Racing. S chassis into that final outside zone goes Olsen. Again, Forrest Wang kind of throwing himself up there, got aggressive, had to back off. That definitely shot him to the moon.
Forrest Wang was definitely loose on that outside zone 1 banking area. The car was not looking totally under control, so he gets the car to angle. You can see him moving around a lot. Gets really close right there, loses angle, almost straightens, potentially did straighten. In the lead though, Olsen looking solid, putting the car where it needs to go. For the most part, missed a couple of zones right there. I spoke too soon. Hard to tell from up here until you see that drone. Man, that drone just tells us everything.
Hence the truth serum, baby.
Yeah, Wang in the chase position. We told everyone to make a nice smooth arc from zone 3 to inside clip 1, and he did a real wide arc all the way out there. But look right here at, yeah, that was pretty straight, but real quick. So I'm sure all the three of us will look at that and come up with our own conclusions. But not the most precise from Olsen in the lead. He could have filled those zones better. And like you said earlier, if you lay down a really solid lead run, it's going to be real hard for the chase car when they get into the lead to match what you did. But Olsen here left a lot on the table. He didn't fill 2, he didn't fill 3. In the chase position, we had some bigger errors though. You know, Wang straightened up on the bank, missed outside zone 3 as well, went really wide, missed inside clip 1, and missed outside zone 4 altogether. So a lot of errors from both drivers here. As they go to the next run of the battle, they both need to clean it up, but is it going to be enough? You know, is it going to be too late?
Is he pulling back in?
Olsen's going back into his pit area, it looks like.
Oh boy. Are we hearing comp timeout? Oh, they're saying contact. Your fellow judges on the other side are taking a look at contact and basically.
Yeah, potentially there was contact up on outside zone 1 when you got really close to him there may have been a bump. Or there may have been something else that I missed. The guys are looking at it way over on the other side, and we'll get some feedback from them. Just watching the merchandise flying off the shelves.
Go
here.
get some merch. Also, pick up your Type S gear. We're selling Type S products at the merchandise trailer, including, I talk about Larry Chen, but he's got his own signature light. It's really cool. The Larry Chen 360 LED video light, and it's a power bank as well. So 0 to 360 degree color gamut control, 0 to 100 color saturation adjustment, all these cool tech things. But again, also, we're celebrating 20 years of Formula Drift. So pick up yours at the Formula Drift merchandise booth, either here or at future rounds. Utah, just a little bit, and then I'll actually be in Utah next weekend for Nitro Cross. And then obviously Irwindale. All right. So there we are selling some merch. And we are finding out that there was contact, Ryan. I'm going to have you elaborate. What went down over here between Olsen and Wang?
Yeah, there was contact on outside zone 1 on the bank over there. And due to that contact, Olsen has requested his 10-minute allotment when you're the victim of an impact.
So violent.
Yeah, I know. He was the victim.
Wang came out of nowhere and he hit me.
I wasn't even looking, and he just came from behind. So he gets a 10-minute allotment that it does not use his competition timeout time at all. If Forrest wants to use wants to look at his car, he needs to use his competition timeout to do so. But I haven't received word on. No, isn't he over on the line right now waiting?
No, that's Kyle Mohan. That's Mohan.
I see a green.
That's the Mohan. The hand of Mo.
Oh,
Castro.
So they're going to go look at their car, make sure it's okay, and once they're complete all of that, they will come back to the line, and we will see the second half of that battle.
Here we go. We're seeing Castro and Kyle Mohan. Again, contact made between Olsen and Wang. We'll finish that out, but we advance on to Dominican's finest, Jonathan Castro, the LTH Mobil 1 Toyota GR86. We got the renewable lubricants Mazda RX-8 of Kyle the Menace Mohan. Castro will lead. Mohan give a chase. Clean start chicane. We got clean start. Mohan does in that chase position. Quickly, Castro, great angle from him. Wound up, and he's high on that bank. Blue and white blending into the wall. Perfect on that second outside zone. Really well done by Castro. Mohan gets out of shape and out of sorts. Goes through the entirety of the course, and Castro finishes it out. Let's take a look at it again. It's focused on Castro, and looked like Mohan had some mistakes there going off the bank into outside zone 2.
Mohan started off strong in the chase position. He was pretty high in outside zone 1, consistent proximity, looked pretty solid, and in the lead, Jonathan Castro was doing a good job. You can see in the chase there, he is matching pretty well. He's got a little bit of movement, not too much. Comes off of outside zone 1 early though in the chase, and right there straightens up almost entirely, I think. This is outside zone number 3 completely in the chase position. So that'll be a huge detriment to his efforts here as he battles Jonathan Castro, who did a fairly solid job in the lead position. Jonathan got into outside zone 2 pretty nicely, which we've seen some challenges with, let's say, either overstepping that line or going way on the inside. So good job from Jonathan Castro there. But unfortunately for Mohan, he had a very big error in the chase position near outside zone number 2.
Yeah, and that might even be deemed an incomplete. It was pretty large straightening, unfortunately, there for Mohan. But now he's got the clean air. He's going to be out front. Castro, I'm thinking, not going to give it 100%. Like again, I think he's going to temper, dial it back a little bit. And Mohan initiates and lacking some angle. Now he puts some more onto it. He works his way up the bank. Castro, like I said, he's not right there to the door. Mimics the angle, good proximity. He missed that second outside zone chase position. Mohan hits both second and third. Tight to that inside clip. Now transition that last outside zone. I'll tell you what, Castro, like I said, didn't go to 100, but, left, he didn't hit all those outside zones in that chase position. Not the prettiest, as some would say, in that chase by Castro, and Mohan had that large mistake on that first run.
Yeah, looking at the initiation, pretty good from both of them. Castro's a little bit further behind, but gaining proximity here by being on a slightly lower line. Mohan did all right, but had a big decel right there at outside zone number 2, which is a no-no. It's not a decel zone there. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to decel at the end of outside zone 1, and Kyle did it in outside zone number 2. And in the chase position, you can see that Castro does get himself not quite positioned properly in a couple of the zones. You could be deeper. Could be doing a better job there. Missed outside zone 2, missed outside zone 3, and I think he missed outside zone 4 in the chase as well. But what happened on run 1, I think, is what's going to seal the deal here for Castro, and that's the fact that Mohan straightened in outside zone number 2 in the chase. An incomplete is an incomplete. We know that that's very difficult to overcome, only by the other driver incompleting, essentially. So we didn't see an incomplete from Castro anywhere, so I think it's going to go towards Castro here.
All right, one judge says Castro, and there it is. Looks like Jonathan Castro unanimously gets the win. So I'll tell you what, Jonathan, got to tighten it up as we advance on. You do, unfortunately for Mohan, he's knocked out. That big mistake there, that sealed his fate. But Castro moves on. Yeah, we're gonna have a packed house here this afternoon, man. I'll tell you what, yesterday afternoon was absolutely beautiful day. In the shade, it's money. Nice breeze coming through the flags, clears out the smoke. I mean, the dreams are made up, man. It really is great. Hold my hand, Ryan.
Yesterday was busy for a qualifying day. This whole grandstand was full.
Sick.
Really great to see that.
Love it. Love it.
Met some Canadians down from the Great White North.
Your people.
Yeah.
Your people.
Very pale.
They bring some sick cars. your pale people, is that what you're saying?
Pale people from
Boys throwing shock. Where are my Dylan Hughes fans at? All right, his mom, his dad, his brother. Okay, yeah, throwing some shotguns, bro. All right. Hey, I saw a sign down here. My man came from Houston. Came from Houston to Seattle. He chose Formula Drift for his bachelor party, bro. Congratulations, dog. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, man. Hold it down for Travis Scott. HTX, baby. Dad's like, who's Travis Scott? Do you know Travis Scott?
Is he a part of this bachelor party group?
Travis Scott driving? Yes. Dylan Hughes, Robert Thorne. Robert Thorne making the jump from Pro Spec. He won the Pro Spec Championship last year on his maiden voyage. Here he is. He's having a bit of a tough go, just figuring out, but he comes from the traditional racing world. Now, Dylan Hughes, he broke his finger 10 days ago, his left middle finger. So if you see him, don't give him a high five on his left hand. Also, if it's sticking up while he's driving, he's not flicking you off. He put a metal rod just to hold it firm inside of his Momo glove. So it's just going to keep it like a splint. Here we got some telemetry here. Let's see what kind of speeds we see. Dylan Hughes out front, 80-something miles per hour. Dylan looks like he taps the wall. He's very familiar with the track. Two BMWs, two very different builds. Robert Thorne gets inside him. He shimmies his way, but Dylan Hughes fights back in that royal purple GT Radial BMW. Transitions into that third outside zone. Robert Thorne backs off and now jumps to the side. Whoa, whammy! Holy cow! Rock'em sock'em BMWs. Robert Thorne, he like glitched and said, you know, move, get out the way, Hughes, get out the way. Wow, holy cow. It's like Evander bit off his ear, like Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. Watch this, dude.
Outside zone 1, we see Dylan Hughes in the lead position, set, looking great in the chase. A little bit more movement in his car as Robert Thorne. Dylan, awesome job in outside zone number 2. Not a lot of people are doing that. Gets his tire in the box in zone 3. And then right there, Thorne
you saw Thorne miss that third outside zone.
Yeah, he was on a tighter line through there, coming in, trying to get that proximity. He got the proximity, but he got too much of it. Right into his door. But good job from Thorne here, putting on the pressure in the chase. His line wasn't ideal, wasn't perfect, a little movement in the car, but he's there. So right here, big miss on outside zone number 3, and then makes contact with Dylan, but Dylan just stays in it, keeps going like nothing happened, fills zone 4 nicely, and Thorne comes back, even though he went 4 wheels off, and just said, all right, I'm going to stick it back to your door to finish this run off.
I'll tell you what, that had to hurt his hand. Because, I mean, you know, here's Dylan Hughes driving, Thorne hits him, that rocks your wheel, and that jostles your hand.
Hey, can you see the F40 in there, Jared? There's a pink F40 back there. I see it. See the pink pony back there? That's what you called it. Pink pony. A little bit of red showing through on the pink now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Good looking car though, Jared.
Don't ask Sam too about it. So Robert Thorne at fault?
Yes.
Okay, so what that is similar to what we just saw with Wang and Olsen. Wang was at fault with a contact, and obviously we saw Thorne shallow, boom, gets into him. So now we have so that's Olsen's clock. He has a 10-minute allotment, and that's what Dylan Hughes will have as well.
Yes, and we don't know quite yet if Thorne is calling his competition timeout as well, but we're going to try to see if we can get that feedback and filter it on down to the people.
Right. Yeah, we got good time here. We're shredding right along. All right. Let's throw it down to the pits. The Rat Nickel, what's cooking down there?
Hey, thanks, Jared. As you guys can see, Simon Olsen is in his car, and he had contact with Forrest on the bank, and once he drove away from that, he said that the car started driving crooked, so he wanted to come in. The team checked the toe, and they're checking the front. They're now moved back towards the rear end of the car because they're just being cautious, but overall, everyone looks like it is good. The car is under control, and Simon's ready to go. He was also sitting in the car re-watching the run a couple of times, and he was trying to listen to you guys and what you were saying about the run and if there was any mistakes that he had to clean up. And the car is starting, and away we go.
Update, Lorette Nickel, Simon Olsen pulling out, thumbs up all around. He got that contact. I have to assume he's got a bit of advantage here just with Forrest's mistake. Really cool car show going on here. There's a Stagia wagon over there. There's a BMW that's fire, the E46 wagon. Some really awesome Hondas. I started as a Honda guy, so there's a beautiful EK over there. Love that thing, the CRX with the TEs. Look at the NSX, the FD, really cool. The scene up here is just so diverse. You know, obviously you get a lot of Subarus, a lot of even Evos, but look at that R34. Some great looking cars here in the car show. That FDRX7. Got an S15 over there. So yeah, bunch of really sick cars. So thanks to all those car show participants. Going in the box, you're looking at Brandon Sorensen and Nick Novak. So we have 2 half battles left to go for, again, Olsen and Wang, and then obviously we just saw Thorne and Dylan Hughes. So we'll move on to Sorensen and Novak. Brandon Sorensen, United States Air Force. Pedal Commander BMW, Nick Novak of the Novak Racing BMW, working with Jerry Yang Racing, who operates Kazuya Taguchi's vehicle. Again, at 3:10, be over at the K&N booth with Larry Chen, Chris Forsberg, Matt Field, and then at 3:30, I'll be over with Mike Power and Larry Chen at the Type S booth. So a lot of things to do here during halftime break. What's up? I know, we got to eat, got to hang. You know?
Yeah, gotta hang out.
There we go. Speaking of hanging out, let's all hang it out right now. Brandon Sorensen, Nick Novak. Look at Nick Novak. Yes, Brandon Sorensen initiates, 19 years young. Good high on the bank, Nick Novak. You can see him lacking a little bit of angle there compared to Sorensen. Now dives in on that 3rd outside zone. Nick Novak, great proximity from him. Transition, snappy transition there by Novak. Woo! That was sick. Liked what Novak did there on that last snappy transition, but Sorensen gave him that opportunity. Good lead run there from Sorensen. Again, little nuances here and there that could be tightened up. Throwing it up, dog.
What's up, dog? Bit of movement from both cars on the bank. So you can see both of them are not really settled. Cars are hunting around for grip. They're moving around a little bit more from Novak there near the end. And then Novak misses the zones. Sorensen doesn't do a great job either in the lead, but Novak is definitely tighter on the inside. Sorensen misses outside zone 4. Novak's right there with him. So definitely some mistakes from both cars here as we watch from the super fast drone, keeping up with both of them. So Novak is not quite as high, he's a little bit lower, and you can see his car moving around quite a bit right there as he exits the bank. Sorensen does get his tire in the box, gets his tire in the box there as well. Not as deep as we'd like to see, but worse than that is Novak not getting in at all. Sorensen here misses outside zone 4. Novak is right there with him. So Novak took advantage of Sorensen missing zone 4 and giving him that opportunity to get in nice and tight on the transition. Like you said, Novak had a great transition, got himself positioned well, and took advantage of that tighter line going through that area. But both of them need to clean this up. Yep. Even if one of them goes on to top 16, they need to clean it up. This cannot keep driving at this level if you want to get any further in this competition.
And that's what I was saying about Castro's run. You know, I love Castro. Again, everybody's got so much talent, but here's where push comes to shove. Nick Novak initiates. Looks like Brandon Sorensen. So very, very similar, kind of almost mimicking what we saw in that first battle. Now coming into that power rally, here goes Brandon Sorensen. Now Nick Novak and Sorensen tight to that inside clip. Sorensen in that final outside zone. Novak, I mean, almost identical. You know, I mean, again, just, yeah.
I think Novak did better in the lead in zone 2, maybe better in 3 as well. We'll see from the drone. But out on outside zone number 1 up on that bank, you can see both cars moving around just like they did on the first run, just in different positions now as they come to outside zone number 2. Novak did a great job there. I think he did a better job, well, a little bit better job in outside zone 3 maybe than Sorensen did in his lead. And then as they transition for 4, look where Novak went, tire off instead of being on the inside. He dropped the tire, hit the cone, didn't quite finish outside zone 4 properly because he went wide early, wasn't able to complete outside zone 4. So he went over the other way. Instead of being on the inside, he went too far to the outside. But look at where Novak, how well he filled zone 2. Did much better on 3, especially from that viewpoint right there. Sorensen did not. And then as they transition from 4, again, Novak off the track right there, and Sorensen on the inside a little bit. So definitely a lot of mistakes from both of them here. Kind of hard to find a winner with that amount of mistakes.
Look at the damage there on Dylan Hughes' car, right behind that front tire. You can see Forge Star wheels taking a hit, but keep on keeping on.
Keep on rolling.
Keep rolling. What? All right, Sorensen or Novak. Slide him left for Sorensen, right for Novak. We got it one more time, and one more time. So OMT, and yeah, and to your point, and yeah, so it is unanimous. I agree with that, but both these guys, they gotta tighten it up, man, or just bring it a little harder.
Maybe it's loosening it up a little bit. I think so many drivers are driving with ultra tight cars right now that are so difficult to drive, and it's hurting their performance. They think they need to go fast to try to get away from the chase car or keep that gap advantage, but what it's doing is hurting their ability to complete the course in the way it should be done. So maybe the first driver to loosen their car up a little bit, slow down by 3 miles per hour, and actually fill the zones will have an advantage over the guys that are trying to go super ultra fast and miss everything. And
it's like, sorry, just taking a look at Dylan's team here. Looks like the line in the front end, getting good. Got the plates out, alignment plates.
That was a pretty decent hit from Thorne. You could see the impact was pretty severe. Now we have the second part of the battle here with Forrest Wang and Simon Olsen.
Yep, and remember we saw contact. Wang straightened out on the bank, and the contact was made, so Simon Olsen got hands on his car. Don't know if Forrest Wang called his competition timeout. Didn't get that update.
I didn't either. Yeah. It looked like he straightened out. Talked to the other judges just a minute ago, and I believe they're incompleting Forrest for his straightening on the bank in the chase position.
So he's got a bit of a deficit here as he is now leading Yellow Speed Racing. Get Nuts Laboratory S chassis. Again, two S chassis, but two very different engine builds. Forrest Wang now looking a lot more comfortable out front. He's going to need to throw down a heater of a run, and Simon Olsen is going to need to make a mistake in order for Forrest Wang to advance on. And the way Olsen's been driving, he's been on it. Yeah, Simon, definitely needs to get more proximity, but I think he knew that he had the advantage. So spotter says, don't go all the way. Give me a 75.
Yeah, so you can see right there, Forrest got really close to that wall, may have touched it, stayed really high in outside zone 1 until the end there where he dropped off ever so slightly. Did a good job in outside zone number 2. Olsen was a little bit off of 2 and 3 while Forrest was doing well there. Olsen was on a tighter line coming inside clip, and then through outside zone 4, not quite positioned very well either, but I think it's going to come down to Forrest's incomplete in run 1. That is what's going to set the tone for this battle here. The judges, mine is already in. I believe theirs is already in as well. So this should come up pretty quickly.
All right, slide him left for Olsen, right for Wang, and there it is. Simon Olsen gets the win. Simon Olsen advances on into the 16. Olsen will be going against Jonathan Castro in the 16. So still have the second half of the battle between Hughes and Thorne. Saw Hughes clock. He has that 10-minute allotment. This is how the top 16 is shaping up. Moving from the Rockstar Energy Drink top 32, and then forging the Royal Purple top 16. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. So 1.5 battle left, potentially. I always say that could go one more time. We saw that contact of Thorne getting in the side of Dylan Hughes. Dylan has the 10-minute allotment to fix his vehicle and work on it. Don't know, did Thorne call his competition timeout? He did not. Wow, it's a bold move, Cotton.
That was a big hit to not call it.
Yeah, it was a big hit to not call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Thorne feeling confident, says, hey, keep it moving.
Yep.
Keep it greasy. All right. Waiting for Dylan Hughes to get to the burnout box, and then we'll throw them in there. Remember, we got
chicken fingers right there.
A lot of fans. Yeah,
chicken fingers look good, Jared. Are they chicken fingers or chicken strips?
Ooh, the macaroni and cheese with the chicken strips. Oh. All right, fans are hyped, man. What's up, young man?
Seen a lot of RTR gear in that area.
Yeah, a lot of RTR gear right there. Seeing a lot of LZ lifeguard hats. Seen some Freedom Factory. Shout out to my man Cletus McFarland. I know he usually watches. A lot of fans tuning in and watching. Rutledge Wood, I know he always watches. The Pedal Commander Burnout Box. Thank you to Pedal Commander for their support of Formula Drift. Ryan, Dylan Hughes, again, on a tear. He won in the great storm in Orlando last year, the wet one. Hey, my heart's, thoughts and prayers, whatever you believe in, to Maui.
Yes.
And Maui is absolutely devastated. Lahaina it's really heartbreaking. A high school friend of mine owns Maui Brewing, and Garrett Marrero, and he's really great call to action. So I know they need supplies, clothes, gear, food. So help any way you can. Shout out, and again, thoughts and prayers to Maui right now. So what happened on that first battle between Thorne and Hughes? Hughes was leading Thorne in a chase position on that third outside zone. We saw Robert Thorne unfortunately miss the third outside zone, come in really shallow, and then boom, it lunged forward and hit Dylan Hughes.
Yeah, I was sort of overhearing what was going on over there as they were reviewing the tape of that hit, and Thorne being on that tight line just put him on a real direct path into the side of Hughes. And we have a restart, Jared.
Yeah, looks like Thorne rolled it. Yeah, again, Thorne, very talented driver, really nice guy, really cool. So, yeah, got in the side of Hughes. Oh. Yeah, got some Dylan Hughes fans right there. Yeah, he'll be over in the pits of the paddock.
King right there.
That's the King. Dude, the King is in the building?
Well,
he's royal. He's Mr. Royal Purple. What do we got here? What is stop? I don't know what that says. Stop simping?
Stop simping, judges.
Oh, shit. Are they throwing shade right there?
Maybe.
Whatever.
That happens from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, more often than not, to be honest with you.
Again, I liked what Sean Adriano said on the Outer Zone, the podcast. He says, it's tough. Like, to be a judge, you have one person. You never hear from the you never hear from the winners. You always hear from losers. Not always, excuse me, but often. Yeah, you're gonna bump somebody out. So here we go. Robert Thorne, Dylan Hughes coming into initiation of that big outside zone. Thorne initiates, and he is right stuck to that ball. Dylan Hughes, again with that broken left finger. You can see it inside the cockpit, holding onto that Momo steering wheel. Into that second outside zone, the third outside zone. Dylan Hughes doesn't get all the way out there. Robert Thorne, a wide line, a big arc there. Now coming that last outside zone. Whoa, Thorne gets him the wall.
Yeah.
Man, he bashes the back end of that car up so much. That thing is thrashed right there. Right there in the smoke zone.
Whoa.
Look at that. Dang, that was deep.
No tire left even.
Oh, geez.
He really went hard.
He went hard in the paint.
I think he straightened over the finish line. It looked like after the impact, the car lost angle. He kept the tires spinning, of course, but it looked like he straightened out quite a bit. We will see that right here. He got real tight to the wall in outside zone 1. Dylan did too. Dylan was right up there. He did manage to gain a little bit more proximity through outside zone 1 than he had at the beginning. Thorne does a good job in 1 and 2. Dylan, not so much. Coming to inside clip number 1, good job from both of them. And then right here, Thorne goes real wide, bumps the wall, and then pretty much drives over the finish line with a tire missing. Left rear tire is nowhere to be found at that point. He destroyed the left rear of that car. With that, I guess it was a quick tap, but wow, pretty aggressive.
All right, seen a lot of RTR, like you said, fun haver. Here we go, slide him left for Hughes or right for Robert Thorne, and it looks like Dylan Hughes gets the win. Dylan Hughes gets the win. Robert Thorne knocked out that ASM Momo BMW. So Dylan Hughes advances on. Who he's going to go against? It will be either Sorensen or Novak. Nope, nobody move. Don't do anything. Oh, there we go. Oh, there. Let's see. Now the hands are starting. Stomp your feet, Seattle. Let me hear you. Stomp your feet. Oh my gosh.
I can feel that.
Oh gosh. Oh, keep going. Lower back. It's like a massaging chair. All right, so one more battle left. So look at this. Field versus RCP. Forsberg versus Denofa again. Kazuya Taguchi versus Carney. Osbo versus Turk. Odie versus Literal. James Dean versus Higa. Olsen versus Castro. I mean, I love this. So many diverse names and countries being represented. I mean, from Brazil to Norway to, I mean, just all over, man. Japan, obviously the U.S. It's cool.
We have one battle left in top
battle
32.
left, man. Yeah, we're blazing. How we doing, Seattle? Make some noise! What's up, dude? Look at me. Look, oh, it's the happy dance right there. Just eating, happy, just vibing, jiving. Hey, let's get a wave going. Closest to the outside zone. Okay, so again, closest to the first outside zone, the big bank. You're gonna start, it's gonna go across and back, okay? So let's start it. Closest, maybe even start at the beer garden. Can the beer garden hear me down there? Okay, there we go. The beer garden. You guys are going to start this thing. You're feeling frisky. You got those adult beverages. So on 3, you're going to send it across, okay? Start a wave over the beer garden. 1, 2, 3, send it. Come on. Put your hands up. Put your hands where my eyes can see. Coming across the biggest crowd we've ever seen here at Evergreen Speedway. That's right. Make some noise. Come on back. Do we have a tidal wave going to the other beer garden? We're going beer garden to beer garden. Coming your way, baby. Come on. Do it on the fence, too. All right, send it back. Send it back, other beer garden. Send it back. There we go. Look, it's a rip current. Don't get caught in the tidal wave, baby. Come on now. Keep going all the way across. Keep it moving. All the way back to the beer garden. And when you finish, stomp your feet. Let me hear you. Stomp your feet. Woo! All right, now we're going to do the... Oh, look, we're ready to go. We're on the start line. We're ready to send it. Our final battle of a Rockstar Energy Drink, top 32. Novak, Sorensen, the one more time battle. It wasn't decided. You talked about how tight their cars are. They lose. I don't know. One's going to lose. That's for sure. So it was going to be Sorensen or Novak. Sorensen. Oh, he found that special sauce, man. Look at that. He threw some crazy angle at it. Looked like it corrected up. Now into that power alley. Second outside zone. Here comes Sorensen. Novak dives in. He forgoes that third outside zone. Not the proper line you want, but Novak. Woo! The Novak Racing Jerry Yang BMW. Again, just going back and forth, man. It's just like, I don't know. It's tough.
They both, so Sorensen gets into the wall there in outside zone 1, and Novak loses some angle. A lot of bobbles, very low angle there through outside zone number 2 from Novak. Novak misses outside zone number 3 entirely, but the big issue is going to be outside zone 4 for Novak. Right here, over-rotates the car, misses the zone, does get over the line with angle, but definitely had some issues in the chase. So right there, Sorensen taps the wall. There's almost zero angle from Novak at one point. You can see his front wheel is almost completely straight. Maybe did go completely straight. And then Novak goes to outside zone 3, misses the zone by a large margin. Sorensen in the lead is doing a good job of positioning his car, gets through outside zone 4, really tight on that wall. And Novak gets to a very low degree of angle, kind of over-rotates the car first, then gets that low angle and drives over the finish line, trying to keep angle in the car, hard on the throttle, trying to maintain that angle. So some big errors from Novak in the chase. Sorensen may have thrown him off by getting up into the wall in outside zone 1, but it didn't affect Sorensen. You just saw the effects on Novak by backing off a little bit, dropping down, losing some angle, potentially straightening. We'll have to watch that replay a little bit better after this run.
Here we go. Novak out front, Sorensen in the chase position. Our final battle of Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Brandon Sorensen looks like he's grinding on Novak. Has to back off. Novak, he loses some angle. Again, these guys just a little sloppy. Let's see what we got in that third outside zone. Sorensen didn't set himself up for success.
Someone's engine's not
somebody's
good.
popping and locking.
That's Novak.
Oh, Novak shuts her down.
Yeah, Novak's engine died right around outside zone 2.
Yeah,
I think.
you heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did not sound healthy. You called it, Ryan. Absolutely.
There may have been contact in outside zone 1. I think potentially, yeah, right there was a bump, and you could see it affected Novak. Came out of drift, but it was it looked like a very light tap. It didn't look serious, but you can hear the engine already in the replay right there, making all kinds of noise. And he's having a hard time keeping that thing at angle, and he does straighten before the finish line right there because the car just can't put down enough power to keep those tires spinning, unfortunately for him.
The contact was made. It disrupted both the cars, so it's kind of like tit for tat there.
Brandon was putting on some pressure, though.
Yeah,
stayed on line.
He missed that. He missed that third outside zone completely.
Yep.
But here, watch Novak just shut it down right here, and that's, you know, again, you said it on their first battle. In order to advance on any further, they're really going to need to find out what that X factor is, and either, like you say, loosen it up or find that. So Sorensen and Novak, slide him left for Sorensen, and it looks like. There we go. Brandon Sorensen gets the victory, and he advances on. Nick Novak is knocked out. Nick Novak straightening there. So, again, some awesome festivities going down. We finished definitely ahead of schedule. So, local time 1:45. So, plenty of time to see and meet and greet your favorite drivers in the pits. So, we are back here, local time, for our United States Air Force opening ceremony. That's going down at 4:30. 4:30. So considerable amount of time. Local time just before 2 o'clock, 1:45. So here's how your Royal Purple Top 16 is shaped up. Field versus RCP, Forsberg versus Denofa, so on and so forth. Thanks so much for joining us out here. Round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Again, local time is currently 1:45. We're back on live stream, 4:30 Pacific time for a round of 16 to find out who wins here at round 6, the throwdown of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Ryan Lantain, thank you so much for joining me, man. I'm gonna bid you adieu as you're replaced by another Ryan Sage.
The better looking Ryan will be in the seat for top 16.
That's debatable. That's debatable.
I'm gonna go over in the pit over there with the judges, battle it out.
Thank you so much for your insight. Might be tapping you for, obviously if there's some calls or some controversy or anything like that.
It'd be my pleasure.
All right, thank you. My pleasure, like Chick-fil-A. They're closed tomorrow. But on behalf of all our judges, again, Chris Yule, Ryan Lantain, Brian Egger, Robin Ishii, Sean Adriano, Ryan Sage, Pat Gentili. We'll see you back here at 4:30 for our top 16 United States Air Force opening ceremony and our head-to-head competition. Don't go anywhere. We'll go somewhere right now. Go in the pits. I'm going to be down there 3:10 at the K&N booth. Buy some gear, get some pins.